Yo, people, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to Saeed TV. We are live. I didn't think I would be live today, but like I said to you, man, the show must go on. Tired or not tired, we will be there, people. I've just got back from London. We had a good day filming with the Big Six. That content should be lit. So make sure you watch out for that one, man. But we got the debate show. Hojlund will be soon a Manchester United player. And yeah, man, we're going to have a debate. We're going to have a discussion. This is about debate. So it could get heated. It couldn't. You know what I mean? So yeah, man, big up to everybody who's locked in. We got James in the building. What are you saying, James? Full of positivity now. That should be the aim today. Full of positivity. That's what we like to see.
You know me, mate. I never change. I'm always positive. So first things first, everyone in the chat, hit that like button. Like Saeed literally just rolled through the door like 10 minutes ago. Hit the like button on your way in, costs nothing, help Saeed out. Second of all, yeah, what's there not to be positive about? Manchester United making another signing. I make that Man United 3 signings, Liverpool 2, City 1, Chelsea 1, something like that, Saeed. But we're slow in the window, so I'm sure we'll get onto it.
Definitely, definitely. Like I said, man, let's bring the positivity. I ain't gonna stop you today because we've got Hojlund through the door. Staffy, what are you saying, man? You got the fresh trim. Is that fresh trim now? Is it?
Nah, I just had the trim whenever I have the hat on. But Staffy's always fresh, hat on, hat off. You know, I'm fresh regardless.
Oh man.
But
man.
But big up for having me, bro. And listen, bro, if you're thinking we're gonna arguing because Michael's on, then yeah, maybe that's gonna happen. You know, when I saw Michael's name on the tweet, I was like, "Ooh, we might argue today," you know, because this guy always has something mad to say. So maybe we'll argue. I don't know.
He's an Anthony hater, man. I've seen him, man. I've seen his tweets and that. But you know what, man? Michael, how are you, man? How are you?
I'm doing good, bro. Obviously, I know I missed Thursday's show. I watched a couple of it. I saw you pulled up my tweet on Anthony. I swear to God, I muted that tweet like the moment I tweeted it, so I had no idea it actually got my interactions. But fair enough. But nah, happy to be here again, and make sure you guys hit the like button, like Saeed and James said. And yeah, you know what? I am full of positivity today. I know people say I'm Mr. Negativity, but you guys know, Saeed and Safi knows we've been talking about on our show. I'm a big fan of Rasmus Hojlund, and I'm happy we got it. I've been arguing with people on Twitter all day about this fee because it's been going bonkers on the app. Because
we'll go into it because there's two different fees. There's one that David honestly reported, but there's also one that Fabrizio reported as well. So we'll discuss that right now. But people, I know there's a lot of ops in the chat today. I know, Matty. Don't worry, man. Don't worry, people. Let them chill in the chat. Let them enjoy what we're building. You know what I'm saying to you, and let them just, let them just be in the chat. As long as you're hitting the like button, everyone hit the like button right now. Listen, the ops can stay ops. You know what I mean? They can stay watching because, you know what I mean? We got Rasmus Hojlund in the building. But Fabrizio Romano first tweeted, we've got to give him his credit first. He said, Rasmus Hojlund, here we go. An agreement reached with Atalanta. Package will be 70 million euros with add-ons, club preparing documents in the next 24 hours. Hojlund agreed 5-year deal 10 days ago as he only wanted Manchester United. And then David honestly, after tweeting something, he then deleted it and then retweeted the same thing, I believe. He said, Man United will pay Atlanta fixed fee of 75 million euros. That is around 64 million British pounds with a 10 million add-ons. A 20-year-old striker has agreed 5-year plus 1-year contract. Still need to be finalized. Atlanta was seeking 90 million euros, but Man United secured a package worth 75 million euros. So, James, first of all, do we care if one person is lying or not? And B, are you happy that we've got our man? Or do you sense a feeling of, we could have got it cheaper? Like, what's your overall feelings on the fee, first of all?
No, I'm happy, man. I am happy. But first of all, to all those ops in the chat, because I just want to address that. Either you finished below us last season, and in that case, you're irrelevant, or you finished above us and either lost to us in pre-season, or your treble winning tweet just got more or less likes than the Rasmus Hojlund here we go tweet. So your fan base is nothing. So either way, you can be here, but you've got nothing to... Nothing to laugh about. Yeah, crazy. On the fee, right? I think it's a misunderstanding because I think Fabrizio's come out since and clarified it. And basically what it is it's 60 million flat out British pounds fee. There's 4 million in very achievable add-ons, which are basically guaranteed. So that takes up to 64 million. And then there's 8 million pound in further, more difficult add-ons, which would take it up to the 72 million pounds, which other people are quoting. So that's 64 million pounds, which is the fee, and the easy add-ons is the 75 million euros that David Ornstein is tweeting about. So that's the fixed fee. I think that's pretty much agreed across most journalists, that it's either 60 plus 4 in really easy or 64 total. And then there's another 8 million pounds in add-ons. But listen, I've never got a problem with add-ons. Like, it was the same with Martial signed, because it was like a Ballon d'Or clause. Listen, if he wins that, then he's worth it. And I always say with transfer fees, like, you can always look at them retrospectively. Like, everyone thought Van Dijk was a rip-off at the time. Everyone thought Alisson was a rip-off at the time. Fast forward 5 years, there were bargains. £75 million for Virgil van Dijk is an absolute bargain if you look back at it now. So we can get hyped up about transfer fees, but my main thing is the fact that we had 3 big leaks in our ship that was sinking last season. And bear in mind, it didn't sink. We finished 3rd. We won a cup. We got to a cup final and a European quarter-final. So not all that bad, Man United fans. But we fixed our 3 major problems. We fixed De Gea and brought in Onana. We fixed the tiring legs of Eriksen and brought in a very energetic Mason Mount. And we fixed Wout Weghorst and brought in Rasmus Hojlund. So I think the board have come up with a plan, and people may not like it, but we fixed the 3 problems that we needed to fix. If we can raise more funds, then we will address a 4th problem. And that seems to be what's happened. And I just want to finish off on this for people that think that we're not that proactive. We've signed 3 players in 25 days. Now, Man United social media and Man United Twitter may have you believe a different story, but 3 players in 25 days is not slow. Whether you're a Matt Hargreaves fan, whether you're a John Murtaugh fan, whether you're a Richard Arnold fan or not, that's a fact. 3 in 25 days is 1 every 8.33 days. If you think that's slow, get off Football Manager, hop outside, look at the sun, mate.
Energy. James is sending shots on that. Everyone that didn't believe in John Murtaugh, he's sending shots. He's saying Murtaugh madness. He's saying believe in them, man. All of you that are not believing in Murtaugh madness, you can jog off down the lane. But now, listen, I think for me, again, I can stress it enough. And I know you know James more than ever. I'm looking at what Man United could do because I want Man United to succeed. Okay, I might have used the example of Liverpool are trying to strengthen and these teams are trying to strengthen. But ultimately, I love Man United first. But like I said to you, when you look at it from the window, if we get Amrabat in through the door, it is a respectable window considering the circumstances we've been in. And that's all you can say. You don't go overboard, but you don't kind of devalue it in a sense as well. You don't devalue it. So people enjoy it. Like I said to you, everyone's got a different opinion. And you know what, man? I'm gassed for the a kind of almost prospect of Hojlund. Obviously, I can't put no pressure on it because he's still a kid, but I'm gassed of what he can achieve and what he can be in the future. But HK Music here saying the price tag is the same as Sancho. I think Sancho, was it 72 million?
It might have been slightly more, no?
I think maybe it might be slightly more. I don't know, but I'll have to double check on that one for Hojlund. Let's hope he can live up to it. Ten Hag has got his man, so he has to make it work, bro. He's got Anthony in. He's got a lot of big signings now. So you know, what I mean, let's not kind of like, you know, he's getting the players that he wants to. And you know what? He's specifically wanting these players, so that's why maybe you're seeing the price tag a little bit higher than what it is, because Ten Hag is so keen on these players, but. Stuffy, how you feeling, man? How you feeling? These rival chat, guys, keep it coming, man. Keep these chats coming because I love it. I love it. A lot of people on other channels, they might not like it, but I love it because at the end of the day, yeah, on Derby Day, and when you see Hojlund scoring the back of the net, man, I'm telling you now, man, it's going off, mate. It's absolutely gonna go off. But
you know what's crazy, Said?
Man?
I'm good, man. You know what's crazy, Said, on that point? The minute the news broke out, I woke up a little bit late today. I woke up to some like DMs, people saying, "Staffy, wake up! There's a here we go," and I'm like, "All right, it has to be Hojlund. Who else would it be?" And then I just read all the tweets from the rivals. Everyone right away goes and says, "Now United definitely have to go for the league. Oh, definitely pressure on Ten Hag. You know, they spent this much and that much." And in my head, I'm like, okay, I kind of see where they're coming from. But then I was like, well, no one says that about Chelsea, who spent about $1 billion since last summer. And I think we made the same amount of signings as Arsenal. I think they still spent more than us because they spent 105 on Rice, and I think it was 35 for what's his name, Timber, and then 65 for Havertz. So they still spent more than us this summer. And they're the ones that finished second last season, not us. So I was like, the fact that the minute we sign a 20-year-old, you guys are going out and saying that just shows me how massive of a club we are, because you guys couldn't wait for us to make a signing to start coming out and saying, oh, well, now you have to do this. Now you have to do that. But then at the same time, they're saying, well, we overspent for him. He's not that good. He's not better than, and then they named about 10 strikers in the league. So I'm like, so you think we overpaid? You think he's shit? But then at the same time, you're saying now we have to go and compete for the league next season. The things, though, the math ain't mathing side. You know, it's not adding up. It just don't make sense.
You know what's mad? All these fans talk about trust the process, and they always strive on the argument, and they say it's a plan, it's a project. They always talk about that, but all of a sudden, when it's Man United and when we've got a new manager and he's trying to build things, it's like, no, instant success. You've got to win this. But when you're kind of bantering our squad and you're kind of doing this, so like make it make sense, rival fans. If you're gonna come here and banter, come with a level-headed argument, and then I can maybe see it. But what happened to trust the process? What happened to project? What happened to all the buzzwords? What happened to phases? I mean, Babs was on here.
We got no phases
and all that.
Apparently, we go from phase 1 to 5 right away. They skipped like about 3 phases.
We might be on phase 3. We might be on phase 2. We don't know yet. You know what I mean? So, end of the day, like I said to you, the T's tried to come at me and he's trying to talk about our squad. When I said to him, hold on a minute, one squad spent 600 million in less than a year, and you're talking to me about what spending the money on what we have with this summer. Come on, man. Come on,
Matisse was cheeky with his tweet too. I don't know if you saw his tweet. He included the
bro,
summer before Ten Hag. He included Varane and Sancho from the summer before. And I'm like, wait, hold on, Matisse. So when you talk about your club, you're talking about all the outgoings and the clear out. But when it comes to our manager, we have to include the signings that came before him. Maybe he never wanted Varane or Sancho. Why are we including him in the rebuild? You know, it's the rivals are shameless, bro.
Yeah, exactly. Guys, there's 1,000 people in here. Make sure you smash the like button, man. We should be on at least 200-300 likes already, man. So hit the like button, people, man. City Champs says 430 million in 2 summers, 7 hard, better deliver. Hey, listen, man, it is what it is, man. And Sophia Talks Football, big up to you. Make sure you subscribe to our channel. Do you guys feel like we could get one more striker like Harry Kane, potentially do a John Obi Mikel 2006 hijack? Boy, listen. Apparently, some reports were coming out before saying that Ten Hag did want Harry Kane, but the wages were too high or something like that. I don't know if that's true. Where's that report come from? Does anybody know?
Jamie Jackson said during the week that Kane wants 600K.
Jamie Jackson, man.
I know it's not, but apparently Kane's
wage, him, man.
But apparently overall, I think Kane's wage demands are like in the 500K a week range. Or somewhere around there.
Oh man, I don't know, man. Jamie Jackson for me is let himself down, man. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think he's not the most reputable, but I think overall, I think Kane's gonna want.
Man.
Yeah, but I think Kane overall, regardless of who the source is, Kane's gonna want a big wage because he's one of the best players in the league. So he's gonna want to get paid like one of the best players in the league. So especially from us, because he knows that we have the money for wages. We're not Spurs. Like we'll pay our top players big money. So.
Yeah, no, 100%. Before I get your opinion, Michael says, Ash says here, Said, I want to see the same energy for Nunes and the fee. He got 15 goals and he's slandering him. We'll be watching, haha. You know what's mad, yeah? I don't know where this idea that I've slandered Nunes, you know, like I have actually given him credit last season in terms of certain areas. Like I've not done like the madness on Nunes. If you want me to, then I can actually do it. But Nunes, I've actually been fair on him, to be honest with you. Like I've said that he's probably works better on the left. He gives them energy. He gives them a bit of tenacity. He's got that bite on him. And I think he actually will score a lot of goals this season, to be fair. So, but if you, like I said, if you want to start the games, I can start the games. So let the games begin then. Let the slander begin. Nunes this season, like I said to you, I'll be on his heels, man, because I can do that if you want me to. So I'm trying to be humble. I'm trying to give them, you know, credit where it's due. But we can go that way if you want to, man. But Michael, let me know, man. Hojlund, what do you think, first of all, in terms of the fee, and then we'll get to the profile, and then, you know what I mean? What do you think? Because we've been talking about it just now.
In terms of the fee, there's one position on the pitch that I don't mind overpaying, and that's striker, because that's the premier position, especially with someone that's so young. Like this kid's 20, obviously the 9 goals, but if you look at his underlying numbers, he's averaging a goal. He's averaging about half a goal per 90 because he started only 20 games. So it's good numbers. Someone actually tweeted this earlier. Victor Osimhen, right? When he moved from Lille to Napoli, in about double the minutes that Hojlund played, he had 12 goals and 4 assists. So the GA numbers are pretty similar. And we also saw what Victor Osimhen's done for Napoli now. He's worth double that. He's about 150 mil. with Hojlund, we're obviously buying for potential. We're not spending 70 mil for a 9-goal striker. That's absolutely ridiculous. I think it's a decent fee. Do I think we overpaid maybe a little bit? Yeah, but the striker market is ruined forever. No nice top young striker will ever be under 60 mil ever again. That will never happen. Bro, you look at Real Madrid with Endrick. The kid was 16. The moment he turned 16, they bid like 60 mil for him. The moment he was allowed to get
16.
bid on. Like, it's crazy.
Wild, when you think about that, like Endrick is doing it in the Brazilian league. Nobody knows. Like, listen, we've seen a lot of Brazilian strikers in the past year. They have all the hype, but they don't really kind of hit it off. And he cost them 60 million. So you know what I mean? Like, that's maybe the going rate now. Like, it's that crazy, the market.
And I know a lot of people are talking about Nicholas Jackson, but he had a release clause, so there was no. I'm sure Villarreal would have tried to get like 60 mil for him too. But Chelsea, you know how Bully is. The only thing Bully can negotiate for is release clauses, because if the moment the top team comes for a bidding war, he ain't about that life, because he knows that Chelsea aren't as desirable as maybe they once used to be. So he goes to the release clauses because he knows it's an easy deal. So I think Hojlund, yes, obviously might have been a little expensive, but for me, I don't expect. This season, my expectations aren't that high. We'll talk about like what we expect from him and everything, but I think this season will be decent. But the year after, kind of similar how to Nunez, maybe Liverpool fans, the first season Nunez acclimated and everything, but that second season you expect for him to bang the more numbers, and I think the same with Hojlund. And especially when you look at the team that he went from, Atalanta, they're a decent attacking team. He has decent players around him. But now he's behind him. He'll have the best chance creator in the league in Bruno Fernandes. Whether you like him or not, the one thing that you know from Bruno Fernandes you'll get is chance creation. No matter what his form is, he'll just bang across the pitch. Mason Mount will be okay with Marcus Rashford. He's never played with a forward like Marcus Rashford before at Atalanta, so that's another good player. Sancho is the one player I think I've seen. Obviously with Sancho, I mean, staff will probably call me out for this, but I've been hypocritical. I've been like rough on Sancho, but the last time I saw him with a striker like Hojlund, which is Erling Haaland, he did good. That's kind of the striker that he likes to play with. That's the kind of, so maybe with Sancho, and I think he's been good in preseason. When we went to that game last week against Arsenal, he was the best player on that pitch for me. Yeah, it was absolutely incredible. Facts. So I would hopefully with the sharp preseason that he's had, and hopefully it's not like last year, if he starts the season well with a player like Rasmus Hojlund up top, it'll allow Sancho to maybe look a little better than he has in the previous 18 months at Man United. So I think Hojlund, it's not just about him, it's how he also improved the players around him, because we have a lot of creative wingers. Garnacho likes to create. He's not a goal-scoring winger yet. He likes to like create for his players. Antony is supposed to be a creative winger. Facundo Pelletier, if he stays, he's a creative winger. Sancho is a creative winger. Marcus Rashford is the only player in that attack that wants to score a goal. Let's be serious. Let's be real. So adding someone like Hojlund will also be good for our other wingers. So it's just, for me, it's an overall good signing. The fee, people are going to bounce about the 72 mil for 9. And also, all these reporters have thrown out like 5 different currencies. At this point, they're going to be talking about how many Venezuelan dollars we bid for him.
Someone just sent it to me in US dollars. I'm like, bro, what?
Yeah, bro, I don't care.
Have to do that.
US dollars, man.
It's British pounds. We're a British club. We're paying. It's British pounds. That's what I'm going off.
Exactly.
Like, I live in America, but it doesn't mean that you have to convert it for me to understand. I understand
the add-ons.
British pounds. Don't convert
like James, like I think James mentioned about the add-ons. Like from Richard said, 10 million euros are difficult add-ons, and if he hits those add-ons, that means that he did good. Same with Martial.
I've got dollars, but we're not doing dollars here. I think Saudi League, maybe they're trying to do it into dollars because it makes sense for them. But listen, man, I'm gonna admit it. We have overpaid for Hojlund. But again, like I said to you, there's so many external factors for that reason. The market is shit. The market ain't great for strikers, and Kane is a priority target for me. If he was available and Daniel Levy wasn't such an absolute, you know what, then we might have got Harry Kane. But he don't want to come to. Daniel Levy doesn't want to send to Man United, and it is what it is. Where do you go next? Kolo Muani, 100 million. Vlahovic, that was my first choice, by the way, people. But again, like I said to you, you know what I mean? I don't know. I think he wants to go PSG. I think it's the reason why he wants to go. Who else is out there then? I can think of. There's not
a lot of.
There's one name that I've seen all over my timeline today, which people are being dumb about, is Evan Ferguson. Bro, Tony Bloom is not letting that guy go for under 100 mil.
These guys want to deal with. These guys want to deal with what's his name with
Tony Bloom
with Brighton. Tony Bloom, are you crazy? Chelsea still can't get Caicedo. If we get Evan Ferguson, it's gonna be by next season.
Look at this guy here, by the way. Can I just address this goonily? Pay for average, you get average. So what's Havertz then?
He's talking about Kai Havertz, Saeed. He is. He's talking like I know, Lee. He's talking about Kai Havertz. He must be. There's no way he's talking about Hojlund.
You know what I mean? Like, what is this like? You've just literally signed Kai Havertz, mate. Like, literally, I don't know. Arsenal fans shouldn't be coming on here and talking about average signing when you've just literally got an below average signing. This is not an average signing. This is a guy who's prospect, again, like I said to you, who might reach the heights of craziness. And it is potential. But you to come in here and talk about, I don't know why you're putting pressure on Havertz. You just come on the chat, and Arsenal fans are embarrassed you've said that. So please enjoy your Saturday night and relax.
You know what I'm saying?
He's
I never
shameless.
understood. I never
He's
understood why you
shameless.
guys. I never understood why you guys had issues with Arsenal fans like that all over in England. But then last week when we went to the game, I totally get it, bro. Because this fan base is unbearable. You know, they talk a certain way when it comes to their players, but the minute a rival does something, they just try to twist it and turn it around to make it seem like a negative. You know, they sit there and they tell you, you got to sit there and believe in Arteta. He knows exactly what we need. And then they're signing Shy Havertz, as they call him. But then when we sign a potential player at 20 years old, they're making fun of us. But I bet you also, if we signed Kane at 29 for over like 120 mil, whatever was being asked for him, they would have made fun of us as well. They would be like, you're paying 120 for a player who's only going to be prime for like 2-3 more years. So as Said said, maybe you guys should enjoy your Saturday night. This is a Manchester United show. You shouldn't be in the comments. You shouldn't be that rattled that you're coming on here to try to shit on our parade. But thank you, man.
Yeah, man. Rajaf, big up to you, says Hojlund sprint speed is insane. Finally, we get a striker who will make runs in behind and actually stretch the defense, which in turn will benefit Rashford. Hojlund may be the next big thing. Listen, I really, really, I hope that, man. I really hope that. Like I said to you, I'm not going to come on here and start saying that, he was my first target, he was my second target, even third. Like, it was out the blue. I've actually watched him a couple of times last season. That's why I was like so a bit apprehensive about Hojlund, because I was like, I know this team needs something now, but at the same time, you have time to reflect on things. And I think ultimately you have to say to yourself, right, prospect, Ten Hag can manage, Ten Hag can get better. He may be ready for this for the opportunity, and he might improve in a league where you just never know. He can either make or break in this league. And Ten Hag is banking on his actual attributes of what he has and thinks, you know what? He can perform well in this league. So, you know what, James? All the minerals included, we have to see what he's about. Like I said to you, he shouldn't be the only striker coming in, by the way. But because of the money and the situation that, it is in that way, what is there to do? There's only so many positions you can fill.
Yeah, I think it was a case of needs must. I think we needed a striker. The guys have touched on the fact that the market isn't great, so you're always going to pay, right? And Man United fans and other fans, they tend to have this clouded judgment where the grass is always greener, right? So if we've signed this young potential striker, which fans have wanted us to do for ages, because all we signed is 30-plus-year-olds that are on the last legs, and we get them 5 years too late. But now we actually signed someone with potential. It's oh no, you paid so much money. It's well, if you wanted us to pay less money, we probably could have gone and got someone for 10-15 million who's been around the block and could score a few goals. So they kind of want the best of both worlds. We are paying for potential, there's no doubt about that. But if you remember the last young striker, and I'm not making comparisons with the two, please don't think I am, but the last young striker that we signed that had about 15 goals in the 2 seasons he played, which is about the same as Hojlund, turned out pretty goddamn well. He was called Wayne Rooney. So it can happen. You don't have to be an absolute bagsman and proven goal scorer to come and work in this league. Is it a risk? Yes, it's a risk. But it's not about what he's doing right now and scoring goals, because as Griggs touched upon, it's about making players around you better as well. And one thing we saw in pre-season is we massively lacked a focal point number 9. And I know the super chat came in about running in behind, and that is true, but we've also missed someone to hold the ball up in a focal point in attack. And if you've got the pace of Rashford and Garnacho running in behind, if you've got the trickery of Anthony and Sancho, and you've got Bruno playing balls once Hojlund has held it up through to Rashford and Garnacho running in behind, then it gives teams a whole different thing to think about. And you've got to remember, combine all this with the fact that we can win the ball higher back up the pitch because Mount's really good in pressing off the ball. So when Mount plays with Bruno, those two are like terriers in there. You then combine Onana, who allows us to push further up the pitch. So all of a sudden, all our players are combined and they're really compact. So then you've got the fact that Martinez is closer to the action, so he can play through balls. You've got Casemiro, Bruno that can play through balls. It's all coming together. So I really think the striker was the missing piece, not to title challenge, win the league, all that kind of stuff. But I think for what Ten Hag is trying to build, a striker was the next crucial thing that he had to get. and looking at the options available, I don't blame him for paying this money for Rasmus Hojlund. I think yes, it is a gamble, but I think it's a gamble worth taking. And what's that? Saeed, smile, bro, you're cooking. Of course he's cooking. Chef's hat on like Matisse. Bigger fish to fry.
Yeah, man. Bigger fish to fry, man. Like I said, it's one of them where, you know what it is, though? You made a good point, though. I think the reason why it's exciting is because I think this might be the youngest striker we've signed since Wayne Rooney. Am I correct in saying that? No.
I mean, we've had people come through. Like, we've had Elanga come through, Greenwood come through, others come through. But I'm pretty sure striker-wise signing, I can't think of any. We've had, like, Ronaldo, Cavani, Ibrahimovic, Igalo, all been older.
Last time we signed a striker that young was actually Martial.
Oh, yeah, I suppose, yeah.
Martial was a winger, though, when he came in. He wasn't a striker, though.
True. I mean, you could look at it like that.
You know what I mean? Because he came on the wing. You know what I mean? Martial, yeah, but I think when he was at Monaco, though, we bought a left winger. I don't think we bought a striker per se. He kind of transformed into a striker, whereas Hojlund is more naturally a striker, even though still, you would argue he probably might go on the wing in the first kind of season-ish, if you know what I mean. United all the way. Big up to you, my guy. He says, we spent over $1.2 billion the past 8 years and have learned nothing. If we are buying potential, it needs to be like what City did with Alvarez for less than 20 million. Disgusting price. Listen, I hear you. I hear the frustrations. And I'm not going to knock anyone down on this channel for having your opinion, because as I said, this channel is all about opinions. But the way I would counteract that is that I've had that same feeling, but it's got to the point now where my needs as a fan has to kind of almost come to some sort of feeling that we need a striker. And Ten Hag wanted Anthony. He overpaid for Anthony by a lot. But then again, we have to back his decision. And when it goes wrong, you kind of hold him accountable in that aspect. And this is one of them where we've bought him. He's been obviously persistent with that. Hence, we overpaid. And he must have called that and said, listen, you must go and get me Hojlund. If he costs you 10 more million, go and get him. Because at the end of the day, I need a striker, and he's what best fits. The club and then looked at him and said, you know what? Okay, we'll buy this striker. And that's what it's come down to. I have to almost kind of like look at the market, look at everything else is included, and say, you know what? It's the best we could have got. And that's all it is, guys. Am I wrong? What do you guys think to that super chat? Like, anyone think that he's got a point? Should we have waited anywhere, or should we have waited for someone else?
In terms of that Alvarez, I get the point, because obviously, like, that for me, that's the one that got away.
We missed out on him.
We would, like, maybe if Ten Hag was here instead of Ralph Ragnick, maybe we would have gotten Julian Alvarez. Who knows?
Hold a minute. But Ralph Ragnick wanted Julian Alvarez.
Yeah,
it was a club that didn't get him.
The club would never listen to Ralph Ragnick, though, because he wasn't the permanent.
There you go.
Year, so if Ten Hag was in, they might. And also, I think in terms of like with Ten Hag and the club are probably the happiest right now, because these are all Ten Hag signings, right? So if they flop, we can't blame the club. We gotta blame Ten Hag. These are his guys. He's gonna follow. He's gonna live or die by on his ship, his sword. These are all his guys. Yeah. So if they flop, it's on him. He's the one that wanted Anthony. Yes, could we have gotten a better deal? The club may have been. That's their fault for overpaying for him. But these are his guys. But I mean, I'm a big advocate for like budget, like cheap signings from like other leagues. Like for example, a midfielder. I would love to go to Ligue 1 and get like a 25 midfielder. Or Malo Gusto, example, right back. I wanted this guy for like the last 2 years. But I think, like I said, the striker is the one position on the pitch that if you think that this is your guy, that you think that he can be your 20 goal a season striker, which is what I think Ten Hag thinks Hojlund can be, you go pay money because that kind of striker is very rare on the market, because you're not going to find them cheap. You're going to have to pay. So, and I think Hojlund wanted Man United. Apparently, he hired within Ten Hag. He went into Ten Hag's agency because he said within these next 3 months,
it's looking.
Let me not say, Ten Hag is running his side hustle, man. I'm telling you, bro. He's getting his ass paid over there.
I'm telling you, man. He used to be a scout, though. Ten Hag used to be a scout.
It makes so much more sense now. That makes so much more sense.
Bro, he's listen, we need to cook the books, man. Because at the end of the day, Chelsea are cooking the books. A lot of men are cooking books, man. So we need to we need to find our own way of cooking books. You know what I'm saying? Like, so shout out to Ten Hag.
You gotta have that, but
yeah, he's got a side hustle, man.
He's definitely getting a percentage from all these players signing for that agency.
If I went to Utrecht, apparently they have connections over there. We're probably gonna loan players there. It's a whole thing. But no, I think with Hojlund, like, he really wants this club. Like, I think there's like pictures of him as a child being a Man United fan. So we always talk about we want players that want to.
He rejected PSG for us.
Yeah,
simple.
I mean, that's not that big of a flex.
I got man.
I don't really.
I'm just saying, like, that was his second
option.
But
you know,
he just wants to be here, and I just think he's a striker that we needed to get. And obviously, like Saeed said, he was in my. I never thought we would get Hojlund in January. When I was like drafting a striker, I'm like Gonçalo Ramos, maybe if we got the P, maybe Osimhen, Harry Kane, if he can put like a transfer request in. Hojlund was like the last thing. But I watched more of his tape, and I think this guy is someone that. Well, when I saw like a stat, he got 15 GA at the age of 19. If you compare it to other strikers like in the past, for example, Suarez or Torres. Not saying he's gonna have that kind of career. Obviously, it's high aspirations, but those guys had less GA than him at that age. That age,
at 19, he has 9 goals and 4 assists in the league last season,
and equivalent
to 20 games,
Yep.
20.4 games. Because people said
numbers.
he played 32. Most of these games, he played like dead minutes in the end. You got to remember, he's not the main striker there, and he's 19 years old, so he wasn't getting like 90 minutes all game. So exactly equivalent to 20 games, 20.4 games. He has 14 or 15 GAs. That's not a bad number at all for someone's age.
19. When you're under 21, like forward, it's hard to get GA. People just Garnacho, for example, we gas up Garnacho, right? But his GA is not that high. But we see the potential. We're like in 2-3 years, this guy's gonna be a world beater. I already seen him in preseason. Like for me, on Wednesday, he looked mad sharp on the ball. His dribbling looked like close control looked a lot better. So he's been working on his game. Obviously, I don't know if the GA will come with that because I can't that one strike that looked decent, but it's just that you expect with potential. Those are what you're doing. And also, Hojlund's gonna have a Euros next summer that he's gonna play with Denmark. That's another. Imagine we waited till next year, right? And Hojlund scored 20 goals for Atalanta, right? And then he went to the Euros and he banged like 5 goals and was in contention for the Golden Boot of the tournament. What do you think Atalanta are going to come back with the price? They're going to come back with like 110 million.
100 plus. 110. Yeah. 100 plus, man. Easy. So, and this is the one thing where United have missed out on. Bellingham, Haaland in the past, whether people will like it or not. There's been so many players that we've missed out in the past for a relatively good fee in a sense. And then it becomes 120, 130, 140. Yeah, and that's where I think for me it gets a bit crazy. Masood here, big up to Masood. Hope you're well, bro. He says, according to Fabrizio Romano, he says it's a 70 million euro package, not 85. I think we need to get over the price and just accept how the market is. I think that's going to be the case. Obviously, it's for rival fans to kind of come at us, but for us, like I said, you know what I mean. We've got to put that to one side. Don't even think about it. Next season, judge him on how he is as a raw player, and is still young player. Like, you know, it's crazy that he will be under this microscope, and I can tell that there's going to be a lot of media pundits ready to kind of be like, why did they play this guy for? What's going on? This is Man United. Why did they play that one for? Like, you can tell, like, all these guys. Graham Skinner's not on Sky Sports anymore. That's a good plus. I mean, so he can't really get battered to us. But you know, the top sport guys, I think it's crazy. They should have went for Harry Kane. What's going on? You know, this is Man United. But then
they already started with Onana. Look at Dwight York.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell Dwight York.
I don't get that, you know, man. Like, what are these like legends doing, man? They need to relax, man. These legends, man. But like I said to you, they're gonna be all over us. But you know, what I'm saying it just depends on how the fan base expectations are on Hojlund. Like, I think for me, like I said to you, we're gonna see a development over the years, and next summer we still need a probably main number 9 in that aspect. I know it sounds crazy, but Hojlund still is in the future. But we need more strikers, but we need also more people to get the best out of us. Because it's a squad. You have a squad for a reason. And you know what I mean? If you want to win things, you need a squad. You know, so I think in that aspect, you know what I mean? It's a start. But like I said to you, we're going to see what he does next season, man. You know what I mean? If he does become that first kind of name on the team sheet, or if he's one of them where he blends in and Rashford is that main striker, and then he kind of comes in and scores here and there, and you know, so that's just the way I kind of look at it. The business says Atlanta charged 40 million for Ahmad, and who never played a senior game. What makes people think they're not charging at least 65 million for Hojlund? You know what it is? The 40 million for Ahmad, I think it's 20 rising to 40 plus add-ons.
I don't think we paid 40. Yeah, I
think it was like 17. No. It was like 17.
Yeah, a lot less.
Yeah, 17 plus add-ons, etc.
We probably haven't even paid a single add-on to them yet, by the way. We probably haven't even paid a single one. He doesn't even pay that much.
He doesn't even play. He was on loan.
Yeah. I don't know what the add-ons were, to be honest with you. But with this Hojlund, though, they got Man United because we were also desperate. So they kind of got us where they wanted to. But at the same time, had we waited another year, he would probably double this price. So at the end of the day, they either get something now or they wait a year and then they, you know what I mean? I don't know. It's always a gamble, isn't it, football, in that aspect. So I mean, you've got to just go now, innit? And Ten Hag will be happy, James, that he's got his man. I wish we got a press conference right now, but he'll probably obviously speak about it. But do you think
he didn't
do
actually? They
you
asked him
see
about
why?
him, and he didn't say.
Yeah. He said he would.
Oh,
he's
they asked him.
He's not allowed
They
to speak
asked him about. He said, "I can't speak about a player who's
To be fair,
under
he can't
contract
really
with
speak
the
because it's
club."
not finalized, is it? So
Yeah.
I mean, it's not one of them. But the fact that he went for him, James, and he was persistent with him, and we paid this amount of money, like, do you see why Ten Hag has got him and whatnot? Like, do you see the patterns now with the transfer market in terms of he's driving the recruitment force? Okay, there's Matt Hargreaves, there's John Myrtle, but do you feel like he's the driving force behind everything now in terms of the signings and what he's brought to the club? What do you think in terms of that one?
I think he's been the driving force ever since he's come in, to be honest, mate. I think it was one of his prerequisites that he put down when he was interviewed for the job. And people may not agree with that, but if you look at last summer, we spent the entire summer chasing his number one target. And if that had been the past, I think we'd have probably abandoned ship, jumped ship, and gone and got someone like a Casemiro way sooner. But, we sent Murta, we sent Arnold, people were making memes of them. We sent them over to Barcelona. Erik ten Hag was adamant that we were going to get Frenkie de Jong. He was like his number one target. We spent all summer trying to focus on who Erik ten Hag wanted. We signed Lisandro Martinez, who Erik ten Hag wanted. We signed Anthony, who Erik ten Hag wanted. We signed Eriksen, who Erik ten Hag had worked with before. We've signed Onana, who Erik ten Hag has worked with before. We've signed Mason Mount, who Erik ten Hag wanted 4 years ago. And now we've signed Hojlund, who Erik ten Hag clearly wants. So I see a clear transfer plan. And for all these people that were saying that striker is a number one priority and it should have been sorted out earlier in the window, I want them to think about this. Have you ever thought that other clubs were in for Mason Mount, such as Liverpool, and maybe we wanted to get that wrapped up quite quickly? Have you ever thought that other clubs like Arsenal in January were in for Onana and we wanted to get that wrapped up quite quickly? And have you ever thought that Rasmus Hojlund is a boyhood Manchester United fan and has dreamt of coming to Manchester United for ages, and the contract was agreed 10 days ago and the wages were agreed and he was always going to come to Manchester United? So that was kind of put on the back burner because we knew that we could get Rasmus Hojlund, and maybe we were waiting for something potentially to open up with Harry Kane. But there is a method in the madness, and people think there isn't, and they think we take all this time to do deals, but it's simply because Manchester United are a massive media source of clicks. So literally, there is an update. I mean, how many updates did we get today? Just today on Rasmus Hojlund? 4, 5? Oh. One from TalkSport, 2 from Romano, another one from Ornstein before it actually happened. Like, we got oh, it's edging closer. It's nearly there. It's staggeringly close. It's on the tier. Like, we've got so many different adjectives and stuff for this Rasmus Hojlund deal because people click on it. Like I mentioned before, the Here We Go got more likes than the City treble post. Like, Manchester United are massive in the media. They're absolutely massive. So the whole thing works off supply and demand. So people think our transfers go slow. Sorry, man.
Yeah. No, I was just saying, Man United are massive everywhere we go, innit?
They are. Man United are massive everywhere we go. But that's the truth, man. And at the end of the day, like, clicks generate money and money makes the world go round. And if you write a story about Manchester City, everyone just scrolls on. If you write a story about Arsenal, people scroll on. If you write a story about Chelsea, people scroll on. If you write a story about Manchester United, people click, and that's what it's about. And that's why there are so many stories. The demand from the fan base is there. The demand from the worldwide outlets are there, and that's why they get written about. So it may seem like we're going slow, but 3 deals in 25 days doesn't seem that slow to me.
Yep, absolutely. I mean, I don't know what Zayn Mias is smoking here, but does anyone know who Hojlund is? Anybody know that? I don't know a player like that.
Cheers for the super chat,
yeah, cheers for the super chat, James, but I don't know what you're waffling there, mate. United all the way says no excuse for Ten Hag, no Glazer blaming. We'll discuss on that as well. Joe Halloworth, who's a City fan, says hilarious how United get taken to the cleaners in every transfer window. It's a retirement clubs to get high wages with no expectation. Clubs a meme.
So we signed a 20-year-old, and you say a retirement club.
That's what I'm trying to say.
What sense does that make?
I said, anyway, I don't know, man. He needs to just find out when we're going to know about the 115 charges. You know what I mean? So why don't you, Joe? Are you preparing the lawyers as we speak? How much?
And the 100 million for Grealish and the 90 million apparently for Gvardiol quoted and stuff like that. Like, it's very easy to throw stones when you live in glass houses, mate. Like, be careful.
There you go, man. There you go. Guys, 1.3K in the building. I want to know how many likes we're on, man, because if we're not on 500 by now, that's a disgrace, mate. So, guys, in the chat, I want to know how many likes we're on right now. Big up to everybody. We got 421. Guys, get that up to 500 people, man. Come on, man. But the super chat there, Michael, yeah, in terms of Ten Hag's getting the players that he wants, and there's no excuses and whatnot now. Like, how do you interpret that? Because obviously, we don't want to put this is probably the best manager we've had since, I would say, Van Gaal, Mourinho. But in terms of coach, since Van Gaal. But how do you look at it in terms of the perspective of what he's been signing? Because there was that format of the transfers that he's made. It was a lot of money, but then it feels like people saying it's a bit underwhelming. But when you had Onana, you had Mount, you had Amrabat maybe coming in, and now you're adding Rasmus Hojlund. How do you kind of view his kind of signing so far, and where it kind of leads to expectation? You know what I mean? What do you reckon?
I think last year I gave him more of a pass in terms of the players he signed because it was like the first summer. We didn't have last summer we had like completely cleared our like staff upstairs and everything. We were kind of going through a reshuffle. So I was like, okay, you're gonna go with guys that you've kind of worked with, and obviously with Lissandro, I'm glad with the signing. I expected him to go to Frankie right away because Frankie Young is probably Ten Hag's favorite player that he ever coached. So I expected that. Anthony, I expected once we were in for a right winger. And I wasn't a big fan of that, to be honest. In terms of, I said Ten Hag, I said Man United may have given Ten Hag too much power. I don't really like a coach having all the say in terms of like signings. I think he gives you a list, but you also have like more than one plan on the list. I think the EOF should always be working with the manager. But like James said, in his contract, this guy probably demanded that he has like all the say. He's a very stubborn. He's very like He's a micromanager. He wants to like he's a very detailed guy. We see that in his tactics, and I'm sure he's like that when in negotiations and the players that he wants. So I expected it. And then this summer, I thought even in the winter, we're kind of linked with a little bit more obscure names in terms of like it's not only Eredivisie, like right back, for example. I saw some links to Vanderson, Malo Goose. I'm like, okay, we're kind of our scouts are woken up. They're like going after some guys now. And then this summer, Mason Mount, obviously, like he always wanted him from Vitesse, but I think Mason Mount was also Man United target, English player. We're always going to go in for those. And on last year of his deal, Harry Kane's a club target that we probably could have gone for maybe if we had a little bit more money, and if Daniel Levy wasn't the most stubborn negotiator on planet Earth. And in terms of expectations, do I think that we should expect a title charge? Hell no. We still have a lot of holes to fix. That right side of the defense needs to be fixed. We probably need another midfielder. We need another forward. Whether we might get another forward because honestly, do I think we're out on Harry Kane? Yeah, I don't think that we'll have the money available to even if like Daniel Levy budgets a little bit. Well, he'll go from 120 to 100 mil for us. He's not gonna budget too much as opposed to like Bayern. But maybe Kudus. If Kudus hasn't gone to like Chelsea or Arsenal by within the last 2 weeks of the deadline, I think we go in for him. I think we'll have raised enough money for sales, and I think Kudus is a versatile enough player that he could play across like the front three. So we might go in for him. I was hoping for a right back, but that's not gonna happen. I have to shell those plans to next summer. Right center back, we might sign one if West Ham want to cough the money for David Moyes. By the way, I want to shout out David Moyes. This guy has said that he only wants to sign British players at West Ham. He said no European. So we have a Scott McTominay and a Harry Maguire for you. If David Moyes signs both of those guys, I promise you, on my list of Man United managers post Fergie, he might be top 3 now. He's going from the dead last position to like top 3 because he got rid of Scott McTominay for me and Harry Maguire, and the money that we can afford after selling those players. Because don't forget, Scott McTominay is a homegrown player. So if you make a 45 mil straight up profit for him, all these FFP issues that people have been saying, that gets completely wiped out because that's a massive. You can go sign another midfielder because we signed. Let's say Emmerback gets signed, right, which I think happens. Then you can go for another midfielder, or you can use the McTominay funds for a center back, whether Harry Maguire leaves or not. You can tell Harry Maguire, bro, either you find your way out, or you're just gonna be like the 6th center back from now on. Go sign another young center back. So I just think expectations for me this season, my expectations are with Eric Ten Hag, top 3 is minimum. We got to finish top 3. Arsenal and City might finish ahead of us because they're Man City and Arsenal are still a little ahead in their plan.
Top 3, you got to lock that in, man.
There's no excuse. There's no excuse. You have to finish above Liverpool and them guys. They haven't signed. They have like one midfielder on their roster right now. Well, that's Roboslai Curtis. They have no DM. Honestly, come against when they play Chelsea, their DM might be Curtis Jones. He's a great player. I actually rate Curtis Jones, but no chance on planet Earth is this guy a DM. They don't have lobby through them doors yet. Newcastle, they should not be finishing above us. Chelsea should definitely not be finishing above us. Spurs should not be finishing above us. So you got to lock that top 3 spot down. Win a cup. That's always a demand. You must win at least one trophy a year, whether it's Carabao, whether it's FA Cup. I would like FA Cup this time.
That one there, that's a serious one for me, man. If you don't win a trophy, for me, I don't know, man. I don't know if I can look at you straight in the face, man. Like seriously, even if it's a Carabao Cup, FA Cup for me, like I know Nuruddin's always mad about that and whatnot, but you know me, James, innit? Like I want to go Wembley again, man. Like that feeling is the best feeling ever. Like go Wembley, win the cup. Yeah, you got to do that, man. I'm serious, man.
And Champions League, I think Champions League, after looking at the Champions League last year, I think we could cause some damage. Ten Hag said that he wants us to be the best transition team on the planet. And UCL, if you're a really good transition team, you're gonna go far.
You get far. You get far.
You see Real Madrid. Real Madrid are not some tiki-taka team. They've won Champions League based off the power of the transition when they had Bale, Ronaldo, Benzema. Even last year with Vinicius, like those, that's what they're going to do. And Erik ten Hag has had some success in Europe. He's made the UCL semifinals before with an inferior team in Ajax. Last year, who made the UCL semifinals? AC Milan.
So Inter and AC Milan.
No disrespect to those teams.
Man.
And Inter Milan were impressive in the Champions League. They were very impressive. But we're better than those teams. I think that we are. And we have Marcus Rashford, who every time he's played in Europe in Champions League, I think he had like 6 goals in like the group stages a couple years ago.
If we get to the Champions League quarterfinals, that's what for me, like we're in the lab. We're back in the lab, man.
I look at around Europe. Unless we get like a Real Madrid in the round of 16 or a Bayern Munich, because as much as Bayern have regressed, in my opinion, they're still like a dangerous
big name. Yeah,
you don't want to verse Bayern.
Is that right, by the way? Is that true about Harry Kane? People in the chat.
What?
People talking about Harry Kane. Oh shit! Harry Kane close to historic move to Bayern Munich. Let me just get these super chats in.
They just sold money today. Maybe that's why.
Oh yeah, Damo says here, trying to stay positive. I hope we don't have another Martial on the books. This guy's gonna have a huge pressure to perform, and he's a United fan too. Listen, man, if you're gonna stay fit, listen, man, that's what you need to do. Stay fit, and then build your own legacy. Don't try compare to Martial. Martial's been a top player for us.
If Hojlund has a similar debut season to Martial, that's a good season,
bro.
Said, I just actually checked today. Martial had 18 goals and 11 assists in his debut season in all cups.
Yeah, he's solid, man.
He's had 10 Premier League goals in his last 3. That's the issue.
That's what I'm saying. People forget about how good his debut season was.
Look at James, yo.
Yeah,
James, you are a certified Martial. Hey,
I'm a stat man. You can call it what you want, say. I want people at the club who perform, not people that get £1 million a month to score 10 goals in 3 years. Pay me £36 million till 2026, and I'll score 10 goals in that team, mate.
Yeah. Let me bring the super chat in. Zayn has to say Saka, Martinelli, Tracy's, Trossard, Timber, Saliba. Listen, man, party, rise. We are now favourites. City lost too many players. Listen, you're not favourites. You're gonna bottle it again, man. So just you know what I mean? I don't know what it is for you, man, but Arsenal are not winning the league. I'm telling you right now. I'll put it here right now to your face. Arsenal fan, you're not winning the league. So you might have a little challenge again. You might get a bit excited, but you're not going to win the league. But like I said, Harry Kane, it says here, it's from Rob Draper, who is one of the
ESPN guys
on the. Yeah. It says here, Harry Kane. So the thing is with Daily Mail, yeah, they do get things right. There's a guy called Jack Vaughan who works for them as well, and he was the one that reported the what was it news? The Haaland news. He broke the Haaland. So the Daily Mail do get some stuff right, but it says they are close to historic deal to join Bayern Munich. So that must be around the corner, man. It's crazy how Hojlund deal comes through, and then all of a sudden it's like a domino effect for then Kane to then, you know what I mean, like forced to move. I don't know. It's weird. Like transfer will just kind of wake in mysterious ways.
That means they must be going for Kolo Muani then. Spurs. They must be ready to strike for that. I think that was the replacement that they talked about for Kane.
Yeah. You know what it is though? What is it with all the English journalists like? They're all like being negative, man, towards his sign. Like, let me ask you a question, James. Yeah, like obviously, from an Englishman perspective, it's in general, like you want to see Harry Kane in there, you want to see that kind of feeling, but like I don't get it. Like, come on, man. Like they're just shy. Like Harry Kane's that toy that we all want. I want him, you want him, but end of the day, like we're not gonna get him. It's as simple as that. Like I don't know why it's a negativity towards. You know what I mean? Like I don't know, man. It's weird, man. I just find it crazy.
Do you mean they're being negative towards the Bayern move, Saeed?
No, not buying me, but just kind of the feel of, you know what, they should have waited for Harry Kane. Like, there's a couple of people saying there that obviously Jamie Jackson could have waited for Harry Kane. A couple of other journalists saying, you know what, it's a gamble. I think someone put it in the chat about Telegraph Ducker. He's coming out and saying, you know, it's a bold move to spend this money on this player. I'm like, bro, just relax, man. Why are you all hate? Like, you know what it is? They want that glamour signing so they can write a piece about Harry Kane signs for Manchester United. Whereas they're not thinking about the club anymore. And that's what they do, these journalists. They're just thinking, it won't sell well if we write Hojlund joins Man United. Whereas if we write Harry Kane joins Man United, it's going to sell papers. And I get it, it's your job. But at the same time, it's like they're trying to dampen the mood, man. I'm just thinking, like, bro, like, just relax. Like, Amrabat, they're saying 50 million. It's not going to cost us 50 million to sign Amrabat. So where are you getting these figures from? Like, just relax, man. Like, I want Harry Kane, but at the same time, no point putting a downer on things, innit? Like, it is what it is.
I think they just are a little bit negative, to be honest. And I think it does come from the story they all want to happen, or they all want to generate clicks, is Harry Kane to Manchester United. If you look at the last time we won the Premier League, it was a North London club selling us their main player, and he went and won. We won the league title back up our rivals off Manchester City, and we went and won it quite comfortably because Van Persie was the signing that made that happen. He joined the club that the child inside him was always screaming out for. I don't know if you remember that, Zane, but that's what Van Persie said. He said the child inside me was always screaming for Man United. And you know, the dream is that Harry Kane was thinking the same. You know, Harry Kane, regardless of what the chat will say, because the chat will argue with me, but Harry Kane is a footballing legend. The guy's ridiculous. Like, he's world class. That's without a doubt. He's absolutely 1,000,000% world class. If he stayed in the Premier League and went to Manchester United, he's just turned 30, right? The way he plays football, he could play another 4 or 5 years, but let's say he only plays another 3 years. If he scores 20 goals a season, which he's very likely to do in a Man United team, he'll probably score more. Then he finishes on 270 odd goals and breaks Shearer's record. If he stays for another couple of years, he could break 300 goals. That record would not be broken for a long, long time. People don't realise how ridiculous Harry Kane's scoring record is. And for people thinking he's on the decline and stuff, he scored 30 goals last season in a Premier League team, which finished, what, 7th, 8th, something like that, under a defensive manager. Like, the guy's absolutely unreal, and for him to come to Manchester United would be the dream fairy tale that all journalists would be able to write about. Imagine he came and he was the player that won Man United their 21st title, that put them clear. Imagine he was the striker to break that all-time Premier League scoring record of Alan Shearer at Manchester United. He'd go on, he'd stay England's top scorer, he'd be Manchester United's hero, he'd be the Premier League all-time top scorer, he'd be Tottenham's all-time top scorer. So I think that's the story they all want. He's England's darling boy, you know. The only thing missing then would be a trophy at international level, I think. But realistically, you can't blame Harry Kane if he does want to go to Bayern Munich. The domino effect has happened, right? And I think that now the Hojlund thing has happened, Harry Kane has probably realised, wait a minute, there's no way United are coming in for me now, even if they weren't before. So can I go to Bayern? And realistically, I've always had a negative-ish look on that, because I think winning a Bundesliga with Bayern Munich is almost like, you know, us winning the Carabao Cup. It means next to nothing in the grand scheme of things. Like, it really doesn't. It's just that you can name 500 players that have won the league with Bayern Munich. I don't think that enhances Harry Kane's reputation. I think if he wins the Champions League, then it very much does. But if he just wins the league title with Bayern, so what? They've won it the last 17 years in a row. So for me, I thought he would want to stay in this country and break Shearer's record, because Alan Shearer is still remembered as a Premier League legend 20 odd years on after breaking that record. Whereas, and I brought it up recently, let's pick someone that won the Champions League 20 odd years ago. And no disrespect to him, because I love him at our football club, but let's pick Benny McCarthy. I would say that Alan Shearer is better known worldwide for his record than Benny McCarthy is for winning one Champions League with Porto in 2003. So if I was Harry Kane, I would want to stay, but I don't understand the negativity around it. Like, if he wants to go and that's his decision, then the media should just get behind his decision.
Him, man.
No.
Yeah, you can't stop him. You know what I mean? It's one of them. Like, I think he's sometimes a bit, I don't know, man, like a bit scared of kind of, you know, the fan base's reactions in terms of the Tottenham fan base. Like, you know, if he's forced to move to Man United or wanted that dream move to Man United, but it is what it is. What can you do, guys? He wants to go there. And
realistically, Saeed, as well, if you look at it, like everyone talks about Kane and trophies and stuff, if Kane would have got the move he wanted 2 years ago, we'd have 2 Premier Leagues and the Champions League at Man City by now. And don't tell me that they wouldn't have won it with Harry Kane instead of Haaland, because he's equally as good. So don't give me that nonsense. If Harry Kane went to Manchester City, they win the Premier League in 2022 and they win the treble still in 2023. He's an outrageous footballer. So that decision of Levy to keep him or him not to force his move through has probably cost him a few trophies. Shearer has a Premier. Oh, come on, honestly.
Yeah,
honestly.
Guys, keep liking the video, people, man. Keep liking the video. There's 526 likes. There's 1.2K in the building. Keep drumming the likes, people, man. Don't just sit here and just, you know what I mean? Like, come on, man, just hit the like button. But yeah, listen, I think for me, it's one of them where I like it, man. Staffy, we've got the fan base rattled. You know what I mean? It's mad. You know what I mean? The amount of messages I'm getting. By the way, on Instagram, yeah, I put a funny kind of a message on there. I wrote, yeah, step aside Haaland. There's a new Scandinavian striker in Manchester. And all these guys are in my comments, my DMs. They are absolutely rattled, mate. And I love it because at the end of the day, yeah, we're happy about signing. And they want to parade on my happiness. But here's what it is, man. We're here. We're here to kind of, be shameless. That's what we do. But like I said, Staffy, man, it's exciting that we got this deal over the line, man. I'm you know what I'm saying, we've got a striker, man. And finally, no more, you know what I mean? No more kind of like, excuses not to play, go and get Weghorst in January or bro, I don't know, we went through the trenches in January, Who are we linked with in January? Abu Bakar. Who are we linked with?
Felix. Weghorst. There was one more. Can't remember who. But yeah, we've been through it, Saeed. We've been in the trenches, like you said. And people sitting here saying, "Oh, they're celebrating signing a player like this, like they won the league." Well, not a lot of people know how it feels to win the league, so you shouldn't be telling us how it feels to celebrate that. Especially if you're an Arsenal fan. Most of you guys are kids, so you don't even know what it feels. And secondly, listen, we just haven't had a striker for a while. We don't have to wake up on match day and see like cross fingers. Oh, was Martial available today? We don't have to go through that anymore. We don't have to go watch Weghorst ball anymore. We just have a proper number 9. We actually do now have Martial if he stays fit as a backup, which I think most of us would agree that's not a bad option. We have depth in our squad in terms of attackers. Yeah, if he stays fit, we have depth in our squad now. When you look at our bench, I feel like people are now actually not realizing how good of a bench we have. When, let's say, on the day of the game, you start Rashford, Hojlund, and Anthony. Now you have options like Sancho, Martial, Garnacho on the bench. Now you have your midfielders. Let's say we got Amrabat in. So you have Amrabat on the bench. You have Eriksen on the bench. These are decent options, So I feel like our squad is looking good. We have the balance that we need. We brought in a striker who's very diverse compared to everyone else that we have. We don't really have that type of striker like him or that type of attacker like him. He brings a different type of game to this team, which I think is very suitable for Ten Hag because, as you've seen, there's games where Ten Hag just completely goes with a different plan, where he wants his team to be set to play 1, 2, 3 different ways, depending on the opposition sometimes. So this guy's going to give us a different aspect of his game. He's going to benefit the team. We already spoke about the price, but I don't see any reason why any Man United fan should sit here and not be excited about the signing. If you guys don't want us to be excited, it's legit hating. Like, you got to call it as it is. You're just hating. I get it. You want to banter us. It's all good. You can put all the fake prices as you want. I've seen crazy prices on Twitter. They're putting the top 10 most expensive signings we had. And I'm seeing all of a sudden Pogba was like gazillion dollars and Maguire was 100 and plus. And I'm like, yeah, all these prices didn't really happen, but it comes only to us. Only when we sign players, I see all these fake prices. But no, as I said, bro, listen, there's no reason for us not to be excited about this and to be looking for the future,
Yeah, no, absolutely. Abdishek Pawar says, let's stop talking about Kane, Hojlund, Bruno, Casemiro, Licha, Onana. Now we have a real spine in our team. Let's get Amrabat and Decisive, GGMU. I'm not sure about Decisive, but listen, we'll see. We'll see how that one, how that one plays out. But you know what? I think that's what Ten Hag needed to do, man, Michael, was get his spine in. We talked about the spine at the start of the window. He got him. He's got that spine in a sense. And you know what? It's not no excuses, but it's like, you know what? Good to see that he's got a spine at least, and he's created that spine. Amrabat should come through the door as well. You know what I mean? Obviously, they've got no Champions League, no European football. You know what I mean? So that should be a situation we could be. So he's got that spine in there. It's just the way how he fits them all in and finds the balance, man. So it's, you know what? It's good now that we can talk tactics in it rather than personnel as well. Like, we can say that how he's going to get the best out of the players he's got in as well.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, the spine for me, you can't win anything without like a really proper spine. It's just impossible. Because like, if you look at City, they won the Champions League. Now that they got like a proper spine. They got Haaland, KDB, Diaz. When he came back in, like he solidified that spine because he's like grown man center back. Ederson showed that he can improve. Liverpool, what before Fabinho, Alisson, Van Dijk came in, they were having like 5-4 goals every game in terms of squad. And I think Ten Hag, when you build a team, you solidify your spine first, striker, center mid, goalkeeper. We did the center mid last year with Casemiro. We started with him. Now we finished it with Mount and hopefully Amrabat. Center backs, Licha, goalkeeper Onana, and that's what we're doing. And yeah, in terms of tactics, Hojlund, I think, Sai, did you say that he maybe could play on the right or something? That's a possibility.
Yeah, it could. Yeah, possibility. Yeah.
Yeah, he likes to occupy that right hand zone. But I've also seen tape of him like being as comfortably equal on the left. Like he could shoot on his left. On his weak foot's not the best, but he could like on the left cutting in, kind of play like that ball across with his left foot. So he's good at that. He's a very versatile player. I'm actually really excited to see with him and Rashford. Also, this came to my head like at watching against Madrid. I saw Madrid play a diamond. I'm like, there are games where we could actually just play a full diamond with Hojlund, Rashford up top, and just play with no wingers. Like forget, like you could put Mount and Bruno as like your wide tens or something like that, something that they can maybe do. And then you have like Amrabat, Casemiro in the middle. Maybe there's like certain games that you go with that. I wouldn't say start with that every week, but that's something that you could do. It's just like
it's an option,
yeah. It's the tactical flexibility is increasing as the year has gone by. And that's something I always wanted from Man United, to have a manager that has different variety of game plan. Because against Arsenal, when we went to that game, I think that was our plan A. Well, I saw that was how we're gonna play. I think Kobe Mino was a big part of that, and that's credit to the kid for him being improved so much.
He's out injured, man.
2 months. Yeah, man. 2 months. That really hurt because I think he would have started in match week 1. I think he was playing. I think Ten Hag.
I think he would have started too. Yeah. 100%.
Eric Ten Hag. I think the way that Eric Ten Hag has fast tracked him, and that he would even when Casemiro came back in against Madrid, I'm like, oh, that means Mino would probably be going to the bench then. And plays with Casemiro, but he started, and I think
that was the biggest indicator, bro. Yeah, because I was like, if he starts today, it means he's gonna start him coming up.
Yeah, I think he looked against Arsenal. He was the best midfielder on that pitch, and that pitch included Norwegian captain Martin Odegaard, according to Arsenal fans, second best 10 in the league. Kai Havertz, Arteta's new pet project. Declan Rice, the 105 mil signing. Kobe Minu locked him down, and he just locked him down. And I think against Jude Bellingham, he might have done the same. I don't know. Jude obviously scored that chip, but Kobe Manu, like he deserved to be on that pitch, and I really want to see him against Camavinga, who I think is one of the best young midfielder prospects in the world.
It would have been a good battle, yeah.
It would have been a good battle because against Arsenal, I saw against midfielders that even though like he's young, he's more physically dominant than Odegaard and Havertz. Maybe not Rice, but he kind of showed that he was more than.
He's gonna bully Rice, man. I'm ready for it, man.
And then against Madrid, Camavinga is a monster in himself. There's a reason why we wanted him 2 years ago, and it would have been a fantastic signing if we were getting
Ronaldo, man.
We went for Ronaldo. He don't want to come to us. He wanted Madrid. He rejected PSG. He wouldn't agree with us. He wanted Madrid. And I think Kobe Manu.
Yeah, Madrid's that club though. You can't really refuse. Madrid.
We're a big club. We're a big club. We're a big club, but we can't swing with them in terms of that. So
yeah, exactly. They're you know, it's when you get attracted to Madrid, it's like it's difficult to kind of say no. In a sense, so
I hear that. The thing that you guys were talking about, like English media hating on Kane. Do you know how much it's gonna bother the English media that the premier English player right now, and Harry Kane, is going to Germany, and the best young English prospect in Jude Bellingham has gone to Spain? He ditched all the Premier League clubs because every single Premier League club wanted Jude Bellingham. Chelsea wanted him. Man United wanted him. Arsenal, I don't know about Arsenal, but Man City were in for him. Liverpool, we all know how much Liverpool wanted him. They were doing fan cams of him losing with Dortmund, and they're like, "Oh, don't worry, we'll fix you come September." So they all wanted him, so that hurts them, and I just think it is what it is, man. But it's gonna be an interesting season. We got season 2 weeks from Monday, I think.
2 weeks on Monday, man. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. Joe Holloway saying that James Gvardiol and Grealish are levels to the players United signing. It's the difference between a big club and a little crew. United coping is real. James, man, do you wanna sort this guy out and just end him now? Like, you know what I mean? Like, you've got any words for Joe, who's a City fan?
Listen, man. I was all ears. I was all listening and agreeing until he said that's the difference between a big club and a little club. I think if you're actually, well, all you have to be is if you're from Manchester, then you need to retract that statement because there's one big club in Manchester and there's one little club in Manchester, and the big club in Manchester is Man United, and the little club in Manchester is either Salford City Reds or Man United Women, mate. Because that lot down the road don't matter. They've never mattered. I heard you got an increase in your stadium of 8,000 seats or whatever. I don't know what the hell that's for. Like, absolutely pointless. None of them are going to be taken. And listen, Grealish, fantastic player. Vardiol, if you get it over the line, very good player. But let's not pretend like we didn't sign a 5 times Champions League winner in Casemiro. Let's not pretend like we haven't signed a World Cup winner. Let's not pretend like we didn't sign someone who had an unbelievable game in a Champions League final in Onana. Let's not pretend that we're not signing good players. Hey, let's actually, if we're talking about copium, let's bring a bit of reality to the space. Are Man City the best team in the world right now? Yes. But are Manchester United improving? Yes. And which one of us is a big club? Come on, man. Spend your money wiser.
Hey, listen, big up to James there, man. Joe, hold that. Hold that, man. You get me? Super chat from Zayn Miasi. I don't think we need to kind of come back on this one because, you know, Zayn Miasi is going to be talking the talk.
I said one thing about Declan Rice, though. I said one thing about Declan Rice because when I was watching that game,
go for it.
Because I was on the where I was sitting, I was on the side where Declan Rice was building up play and everything. That guy was not involved in build up. He had no idea what was going on. The moment I clocked it within like 5 minutes, Thomas Partey should be on that pitch because Declan Rice wants to succeed at Arsenal under Arteta. I don't think he could be the 6 personally. He needs to move to 8 because he had no idea what to do in build up. I kept seeing him passing back to Ramsdale. I saw him kept back to Saliba. They had no idea what was going on. And the moment that he had a calf injury, whatever he had, that he couldn't play against Barca, Thomas Partey came back in and they looked more fluid. So
they bossed that game with Partey, 100%.
Yeah, I just think.
But Partey's also played in that team for years, and Rice is only coming in 2 weeks, so I think it's a bit quick to judge. I think Rice is a very, very good footballer, and I think he'll work in that team, but he's not ready yet to gel.
I just think in terms of build-up play, I know his limitations. I've seen from Declan Rice his limitations. I don't think he could be in 6 in a top build-up team in terms of possession. Yeah. I think as an 8, he could kind of be a little bit more of a box-to-box and less responsibility. Because for me, playing the 6 in Arsenal system is one of the most demanding positions in world football because you have to be you have to be able to stop transitions, but you also have to be the most progressive player because you need to be able to get the ball to Odegaard between the lines.
Listen, he might start off slow, man. I've got a feeling he's going to start off slow, Rice, and then he'll kind of get better as the season goes on. Zamia says in Arsenal with Rice or Junior Partey, who's going to get past us? Casemiro not enough. Arsenal will be Champions League final, bro.
We put 2 past your first team, mate. You played your first team for 70 minutes, and we put 2 past you. What are you talking about?
Odegaard played 90 minutes. The guy was gas, man.
For 7 years, they've not been in Champions League for like 7 years, haven't they? What's this like? It's mad. The gas from Arsenal fan. Well, Zayn Miasi. Yeah, forget it. Masood said there, we have been methodical this transfer window. Looks like we have a plan from the beginning, and we've been executing them one by one. Very impressive.
Say it again, Saeed. Say it again. Read it again. Believe it with a bit of chest. Read it.
Listen. I
believe that.
This should be the standards. Yeah, that's one thing. Again, yeah.
Believe that.
But I am going to give credit to Matt Hargreaves. I think that's been a good acquisition from Man United in terms of getting him as a negotiator. Because before that, I think United haven't been quick to kind of do things or been a bit hesitant. So I give credit to Matt Hargreaves, but I'm not going to give credit, you know what I mean, for the sake of it. Because I just think for me, this should be the standard at Man United. Get players the manager wants and get them quick and build. So let's see how things develop. We get Amrabat as well, because I do think Amrabat is still a big signing, because I feel like the midfield is a bit light in that aspect, because Kobe Mino got injured, and I'm gutted for him in that aspect, because I think for me, like you said, Michael, he could have broke into the first team. But I think overall, you know what I mean, the window is the window. You know what I mean? The window is an acceptable window from Man United. It should be the norm. Like I said, what we do is we have this plan, and it don't become that plan, and then it becomes very, very underwhelming. But like I said to you, we have bought in players that, for me, are realistic, A, B, and obviously the manager wants as well, in terms of Onana, in terms of Mount, in terms of obviously Amrabat. They are signings that the manager wants as well. So, like I said, with Michael, what he said, though, it is a bit of a risk to only go with what the manager wants, but it has been that because of the incompetence of John Myrtle and the people above him, that he can't trust them. There's a reason why it took so long for him to have talks with Man United, because he said to myself, I want control over the transfer window. I want control over this. The under-21s, who goes out on loan, who does this. Look at Zidane Iqbal. He's gone to Utrecht.
I was just going to say that,
he hasn't gone anywhere else. He's gone to Utrecht for development, because he said, where you've been taking players in, they've not been developed and not been developed well. So all these kind of situations, I will give credit in certain aspects, but also still a disparity in what they've been doing. And I think that's probably the fairest statement to make. United says Ten Hag side is facts. No, Onana, no Weghorst. We're better already. Listen, Weghorst is at Burnley, man. I don't want to slander him too much because I can see at Old
He's still
Trafford.
there. He ain't got to move yet.
No, he's in Burnley.
He got booed. He got booed. Did you see that?
Did he really?
Yeah,
What?
he played for Burnley and he got booed. Yeah.
I think it's
What?
because of all the twerking that he did for us.
Yeah.
Bro,
I thought
that's
he was going
wild,
back to
man.
Turkey. I'm
That's
not gonna
wild.
lie. I thought he was gonna get moved.
By
back
the
to
way,
Turkey.
yeah, just on other kind of United talking points, what's going on with Fred? Because obviously I've not been around today, man. Does anybody know what's going on with Fred? Is it happening?
Apparently,
What's going on?
What I heard, first of all, Lazio came in for him apparently, but then Maurizio Sarri shut that down. He said, "Nah, I don't want. He doesn't want him." Galatasaray are probably the leading, but honestly, I don't think we'll get the 20 mil that we want. We might have to lower it down to 15. I can't lie. We might have to
I think it's gonna be less than that.
It might even be less
Yeah,
than that.
but Lazio said they didn't want him though. I think Sarri said something about he didn't want
sorry,
him.
Sarri didn't want him. I'm not surprised. He's not a Sarri player, so kind of I don't know why Lazio, but I think Galatasaray, if they could give us like 12 mil, I'm taking it at this point. He has 1 year left on his deal. Just get the money in, man. He's over 30 years old.
James gets a bit sticky with me because he keeps saying that I'm predicting signings as too low. Because remember, Maguire was 20 million, and obviously
that was a terrible. I don't know what West Ham are bugging with that.
But the more we kind of
you wouldn't take 20 from Maguire.
Hell
no,
bro,
don't be ridiculous.
Bro,
I don't want to talk about Maguire in front of James because I've seen his tweets about Maguire. I don't want to get him angry.
West Ham, West Ham paid 30 mil for Kurt Zouma. Harry Maguire is a more reputable center back.
So where are you guys at then? Because I said, by the way, James, I did say 20 to 30 million. So you need to.
I still think that's low. I still think that's low.
So,
for me personally, for Maguire, I'd set it at like 40 million and accept 35. I would accept for Scott again. I'd set it at like 40 and accept 35. And these people that saying that those valuations are crazy, like Chelsea just rejected 40 million for Conor Gallagher, and Scott McTominay has done much more in a Man United shirt than Conor Gallagher has in a Chelsea shirt.
We could get 40 from McTominay if we want to.
Yeah, I agree. And listen, like the argument I hear, right, is people think the players are shit because they've not worked in a Man United team or whatever, right? These players are not shit. Like, you can believe it or not, and you can have whatever reservations about them because you've seen them in Manchester United. You can smirk as much as you want, Saeed, but the guy's been to 3 European finals. You've just come back from Stevenage today because you got your boots on for the first time in a year. So you're not in any position to slay Harry Maguire. Harry Maguire is a better footballer than you, pal, so don't worry about it. Listen, crossbar challenge or not, Harry Maguire is better than you.
Hold on a minute. I am not a professional footballer. I don't get paid 200 grand a week to kick a ball.
You do that.
I'm not the captain.
There's a reason.
I do not put bad performances in. So don't put on me that Harry Maguire
is
not doing well because I'm not a footballer. That is crazy.
Bro, do you know how
like 20 million's an insult?
I do think 20 million
is that's a laugh in our face. Bro, this guy was almost in the World Cup team of the tournament for center back. He's been class in every international tournament, and like someone said in the comments, more reputable than Kurt Zouma. Yo, honestly, what has Kurt Zouma done in football? Like, what has he done?
Yeah, let's be honest. Yeah, it's true.
That's pretty much it, bro. For Chelsea, when they won trophies, he wasn't a big part of it. For West Ham, okay, he won a Conference League, whatever. I don't care about that.
Can I ask you all a question though, right? And it's a very simple question, and this should be the answer to the valuation. 2 questions. Does Scott McTominay improve West Ham's team? Does Harry Maguire improve West Ham's team?
Yes and yes.
The answer is yes, right? So whether you think they're Man United quality players or not, they improve that team. So why are we cowering and lowering valuations when those players are needed to improve that team? David Moyes has come out and said he wants a British spine in his team. They fit his profile perfectly. Why are you bending over to them and letting them fuck you and basically say, oh yeah, it's fine, do whatever you want? Not having that. We want 35 million for Maguire, at least 35 million for McTominay, and then reinvest that in the squad. If you don't think they're worth that, then you're judging them by Manchester United standard. You are not judging them by the standard of the person that is buying. And in the market, the person that is buying is always the person that determines the value because they're the ones spending the money.
Okay. Let me ask you a question then now, yeah? Do you believe we can get more for Maguire if we sell him in January or next year? Let me ask you a question.
Next summer.
No. No, I because I don't think he'll play much this season, to be fair. So I think his
But
valuation
you will
goes
be
down.
value. Okay,
Yeah, I
value
do, but
drop.
I don't think that means you accept 20 million now. I think
No,
right. I said 40 and 35 minimum. Maybe you go to 30. Maybe.
But that's what I said. So let's
But that's
just
like
call it
lowest last ditch deadline day stuff.
This is a guy who has no shame. He wants to stay here because he's on 190k a week. And I get that for his sake. He wants to be selfish. But it gets to the point now where if a bid comes in from from West Ham and it's 30 million and we get him off our books and we get the wages off our books, is 30 million not a bad deal? I just don't get why you want to keep the toxicity in the fan base. I'm not saying he is toxic, but I'm saying what creates around him, it is toxic because the fan base have had enough.
I mean, I like the way your answer to that is for Maguire to leave and not for the fan base to be less toxic towards Maguire. I like the way you think there.
No.
You know, the answer to that is just don't be a dick. Don't call your player a fucking mong. That's the answer.
No, absolute.
James, by the way, the person that said that in New York, it was Mike. Mike right here.
I ain't saying no. I
No, it wasn't.
Wouldn't surprise me.
New York accent.
Wouldn't surprise me.
It was a Manchester accent, man. And,
It was a season ticket holder, which makes it worse. Makes it worse.
Crazy.
No, but
I think what you're getting is that I don't want people to call him whatever. But I'm talking about the situation that he brings, the PR, the surrounding around Maguire. I think it's amicable. It's amicable on both parties to say, right, you go your way and I'll go my way. And then we just call it a truce and take the 30 million and they'll say, ta-da, ta-da. You know?
Bro, I've seen way worse center backs.
You just want to have you want a toxic relationship. You want a toxic relationship. You know, when you got a missus and you got a fella and they're not getting along together and you know it's not working, and you know what, you just got to call it a day and say, listen, it's not been working. You go your way and I'll go my way. You don't stay in a relationship and have the kids, you know what I mean, depressed and the kids not knowing when to take sides and whatnot. Because that's what you're doing now. We don't want to take sides. We just want to have a nice family and just chill out. Yeah.
See, but the issue is, Saeed, Maguire wants to work out the relationship, you know, but we don't want to work it out with him, you know. So now it looks bad that we're asking him to leave. Now I don't approve abusing him, of course. I'm not saying
he also wants a bigger move than West Ham, in my opinion. I don't think he wants to when you go from Man United.
Bro, where else are you gonna go? Let's be very honest, Michael. Besides staying in the Premier League.
I mean, I don't think West Ham's Italy. I always wanted him to go to Italy, but they don't got money to give to us. That's the only issue. If Italy had money, they should be going for him because I think he'll look great. And he'll go start for Juve. I think he'll go start for Juve. I think he could start maybe for Inter.
Italy's slow though,
but they don't have
money.
They don't have money. That's the issue. So we would have to settle for Prep. No, West Ham just got 105 million for Declan Rice. They have money. They have money. They're rich, bro.
Playing in London, I don't think that you're talking about as a downgrade. I really don't think playing for West Ham is
in his eyes.
Because you're going down from Man United.
That's what I meant though. But he want. But when you go from that, especially because he's still going to be playing for England no matter what. He's not losing his spot.
Yeah, he's going to play for England.
I think, bro, 20 mils for me just a slap in the face. Same, Scott McTominay, bro. Conor Gallagher's going for 40 mil. The guy's played one season in the Premier League. Scott McTominay, whether we rate him or not, he's had good performances in Europe and UCL knockouts before. He's played decent in the Premier League.
Funny.
So I just think, bro, we can't be selling players, especially our homegrown players. Forget Harry Maguire because no matter what with the FFP might be hit, but homegrown players we should be maximizing the value. Because Dean Henderson, Nottingham Forest are coming out with loan obligation, but he must play 35 games minimum or something like that. What nonsense is this, bro?
What? Get out of here, man. That's another one as well, man. That's
let me not talk with Forest.
Get out the door.
Because I know who their owner is. I know who their owner is.
Don't get career, man.
Bro, I know who Forest owner is. Marinaki is not in Greece, bro. This guy is one of the richest guys in Greece. He's a mafia boss over there and everything. Owned with the
Bulls. Oh yeah, they're not Forest.
He's got money.
Yeah, he's rich.
They got money, bro. Dean Henderson, you better pay up that 35 mil. Because I ain't taking no loan obligation. If they want an obligation, but 30 games is ridiculous. Because United want 5 games played for it to trigger and stuff like that. There's a 30-game discrepancy and stuff like that. It's crazy, but I don't know. We need to sell players. Also with Maguire, we can't sell him late in the window because we have to go for a replacement. And we can't find a replacement that late at center back at the level that we want. Because we could go settle for
we had one in Kim and Jay, man, but
listen, but I think Ten Hag wants a top young center back to replace Maguire to eventually take over for Varane. and that's gonna cost that late in the window.
That
That'll
won't be
cost like,
decisive though.
no,
Bro,
I
that
want
won't be
decisive.
decisive.
I
I
don't
hope
want.
not. I hope not, man.
I
Because
know
for
who I
me,
want. I know
people-
who I want. I don't know if Ten Hag will want him. I want Diomande from Sporting. I want
Go on.
Diomande from Sporting. I want that guy.
Okay, yeah. I heard
we have a
good
good
about him.
relationship with Sporting too, so I hope that we can use that to our power because I think that guy, he's like 19. Lukeba from actually,
Yeah.
so that doesn't work. But either way, there's a
Yeah.
lot of good young center backs. I think either you sign Maguire now, so you have enough time to go address that, or you just keep him and then you go again next year because you never know. He could have a good Euros again, and that's probably the best time to sell him if he has a good Euros, and he probably will have a good Euros because England will go far like they always do in the tournaments, whether they make like the final or not, I don't know, but he'll probably have a good tournament, and then you maximize his value there.
Yeah.
On the other chat site that said it said Varane 34, so Maguire's worth 20 mil or whatever. Like you can use any player to justify a valuation you want. I could say Koulibaly cost 80 million from Napoli, so Maguire must be worth 40. Like you can use any player to justify a valuation. Like just because Varane was 34, that doesn't mean Maguire's worth much less. Maguire is an England international.
Varane had 1 year left. He had 1 year left for his end. And they were clearing out clearing out their defense because they were signing Alaba and they were gonna promote Militao to be the starter. They got rid of him and Ramos. Ramos went for peanuts, I think. If he didn't go for free,
yeah, he did. Yeah, you're right. I'm gonna read a super chat here from Masood. Said, let's not let our rivals put pressure on Eric Ten Hag to win the league. It's only second season despite what we have spent. Next season, I will demand a title race. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you. Next season is where I want a title race. But this season, I'm not gonna lie to you. I still think it's third in around there and a cup team. This season, like I said to you, it's going to be getting closer as well to Man City, though. It's got to be a bit more closer than it was last year.
We better be within 10 points of them, like in March.
I think I think we go over 80 points, and over 80 points compared to this year was that's technically a title charge.
We got
75.
We must get 85. We must get 85 points.
I thought we got 57 the year before, then 75 last year.
We got 58.
And then 75.
75 or 76, something like
75,
that.
Whatever.
Yeah, let me check.
85. We have to get 85. We need to make a 10-point jump, in my opinion. That's what 3 wins in a draw.
75.
Yeah, so we got 17 more points last season than we did the season before. So if we can get another 10, that puts us 85.
I want 85.
Only 9 points behind title race with Arsenal, so it's not too bad when you look at it on the long run.
City finished with 89, and let's be honest, they dropped like 5 points in the last 2 games because they didn't care that the league was over. So let's say they had 94.
I think
you need to be somewhere within 10 points.
I think City and Arsenal get over 90 points this year each. We need to be at least 85. That's minimum for me.
Bro, yeah, that's crazy, man. That's what I'm saying. It's consistency. I'm just looking at the away form, man. I just hope, bro, I don't know, man. I'm just scared about these away games, man. This Ten Hag's football away from home hasn't been great, man.
We got Arsenal away.
I hope that's
right? We have Arsenal away.
Arsenal away,
Arsenal and Spurs first 2 games of the season away.
All right, we got to be Spurs away from home. That has to be minimum win.
I think Spurs early in the season is going to be easy to play because they have a new philosophy. It's going to take some time. So
exactly.
I think it's going to be a good time to catch
up. If they don't have Harry Kane, especially, we should be winning.
Oh, and that too, yeah. I mean,
yeah. But Arsenal away is going to be a litmus test. But again, like I said to you, I think we did well last year. It was for last minute winner. You know what I mean? That caught us anyway. So.
Yeah, if you think about it, we didn't win any Big 6 games away from home last year, right? I think we should be aiming to beat Spurs away from home.
We only beat Spurs away from home.
We didn't beat them.
We could have beat.
I know we beat
top 9.
We tied
2-2.
2-2.
We should be beating them away from home. We should be winning at Stamford Bridge.
Yeah,
we should be beating win there.
We should have won Stamford Bridge. Yeah,
I'm not predicting a win at Anfield. I don't care how shit Liverpool are. They just proved that even if they're shit, they're still gonna slap.
Bro, I wish.
I am predicting Etihad. Who knows? I think Arsenal. I don't think we're winning at Arsenal away. I'm not gonna lie. I think they're gonna be up for it. We just beat them in preseason and we went hard.
We got a draw though. I'll take a draw. Man. Arsenal away.
I'll take a draw. I'll take a draw. I'll take a draw at Emirates, Anfield, and Etihad all day, every day. That's 3 good points.
Yeah. If Ten Hag was a madman, if he got like a win at Anfield, honestly, man, I want to say he would retract the 7-0 feeling. But
when's
just
the last time we won
at
Anfield? Because it's been a while.
Rooney 1-0, yeah.
That was
the Rooney or was it the Juan
No.
Was it the Juan Mata bicycle kick?
It was Wayne Rooney.
It was after that.
It was Wayne
Rooney late in the game corner. We got one from Fellaini as well, like in 2015, maybe. Like
Fellaini one was a tie, no? It was a 1-1.
Was it? Did they score late on?
When
Let's know in the chat.
Because that's
I'm
when
pretty sure
Ibrahimovic set him up.
I think it was the Juan Mata one. I'm not gonna lie. I'm pretty sure it was Juan
No,
Mata.
it was the Rooney one. I remember that.
Was the Rooney? No, Rooney was the season after. Rooney was the season after.
I just remember LVG used to beat them all the time because he came out and he said he was like he wishes he played everyone like he played Liverpool.
LVG,
he said they're so nice. They always give me 3 points.
LVG's Big
like
Six
that.
game record was nuts. He beat almost everyone.
Yeah. Big up to HK Music. He says here, what has Maguire done in the last 3 seasons to prove he's worth 40 million? We bought Varane for 34 million. If we get 20 million for Maguire, we should take it. Big up to Stockton. Fiero says, no, we cannot sell Maguire below valuation due to FFP amortization works, whereas McTominay, any amount would be considered as pure profit. HK Music follow-up says, what has Maguire done since coming to United to justify 40 million price tag and 190k in weekly wages? Unless you just want to make up stuff, the guy's worth 20 million max. No one will purchase above 30 million.
So you sell him for 20 million side. You sell him for 20 million, then you pay off his wages to go, and then you're making profit less than 10 million, something like that. That's really not how it works. I mean, like, you really do need to sell him for more.
But I get 100%. I get a little bit more, but then you get a player who's just going to be here for the sake of it. Then we can't then buy players, obviously, in that position like a Decisive and whoever. Like, it's got to the point now where the manager isn't kicking him out, but he's also not kind of budging as well because he thinks I'm on a nice wage. I've got I think he's got 2 years left on his contract, guys. I think he's got 2-3 years left on his contract.
Sure.
So he's thinking, you know what? I can just relax, chill out, and you know what I mean. I'll be good in that aspect. So that's why he's kind of saying, you know what?
We need Southgate. We need Southgate to tell him this England spot's up for grabs. I guarantee he'll push for that move.
Happened,
imagine.
This is what I'm saying. If that happened, then for me, that's where I think it would be the kind of like there's a stopgap. Like if Southgate said your position is gone, you ain't playing, bro, you need to leave. If he said that to him, bro, he would pack his bag.
But Saeed,
tomorrow.
This answers the super chat though. You know why he doesn't do that? You know why he won't do that? Because Harry Maguire plays well for England every single time he puts on the shirt. He's been in the team of the tournament in the Euros. He was very nearly in the team of the tournament in the World Cup. And this. No. I get your point. I'm answering the super chat from HK Music because they're like, what's he done in the last 3 years to justify £40 million? You are very much looking at it from a Manchester United point of view. You are not looking at it in terms of a system defender or what you can do in the right team. Make no mistake, if Harry Maguire goes to a West Ham, to an Everton, to a Spurs, or to any Italian team, Harry Maguire will be a fantastic player. Harry Maguire could arguably go to West Ham and win Player of the Season for them easily. Absolutely easily. They defend in a low block, suits him. They're very physical, suits them. Wins a lot of headers, suits them. Like, comfortable on the ball at the back when given time, suits them. Like, literally, he suits them. Scott McTominay, again, very physical, box to box, would suit them perfectly. So we are looking at them in a Ten Hag system, and we are looking at what they bring.
James, can I ask you a question? Can you be Maguire's PR team? And
I should be.
And like, honestly, you'd be the best PR team for Maguire.
You know why I have to defend him? You know why I defend him, mate? Because people call him fucking mongs and record it and people retweet it and think it's funny. So I defend people like that because people shouldn't be doing stuff like that. Harry Maguire may not be a Manchester United player, but Harry Maguire is a fantastic footballer and is worth that money all day. Didn't work out at United, that's fine. But don't abuse him, don't slate him, don't give any of this. He's not worth £20 million. It's a joke.
James, let me ask you a question though. I think what you're doing is, I think you're missing the 2 points together. Again, I agree fundamentally, no player should be abused. But what you're missing the point is the fact that he is a very, very bad player at the minute. And for me, let's move him on. And he probably isn't worth the gas that you give it. That's where I think you're not coming from. It's not
very bad player. Very bad player from what, Saeed? Very bad player from what? He's barely played. He's barely played at Manchester United, and you know from all his tweets that when he plays, he wins because statistically, you know that's what he does. He's not played at Manchester United, so you can't say he's really bad. He doesn't fit the system. That's fine. That's why he doesn't get picked.
So why is he out the team then?
Why is he out the team? Because we've got Varane, Martinez, Shaw, and Lindelof, who are all better. That doesn't mean he's bad. That means there's 4 better centre backs at Manchester United.
Because he's not better than what we've got. He's not better than what we have. So therefore,
exactly. So he should be moved on. But we're Manchester United, so we're supposed to be going for the league. So do you think we shouldn't have 4 good centre-backs? Of course we should. The main reason that Maguire should go, No, the main reason Maguire should go is because we can't afford a fifth choice centre back that's on 190 grand a week. If he was on less money and if he was happy to stay, he's more than good enough to be fifth choice centre back at Manchester United. More than good enough.
No, but he's a guy who thinks he's fifth. You know the thing is, he's a fifth choice centre back that thinks he should be starting or at least be in the running. That's the energy he's getting.
Yeah, that's his issue. Yeah. And that's his issue, and he's not going to be at Manchester United, so that's why he should leave. But calling him shit and saying he's not a good footballer, one, doesn't help his valuation at all, and two, it's just not true.
No, but I'm not. Listen, I don't help people's valuation. They help their valuation.
Saeed, we've been through this. We've been through this.
I know, but the thing is, though, what you're trying to do is, I get again the abuse and what.
I'm not trying to do anything.
No, but you can't justify to me that Maguire should still be at Manchester United. You can't justify that.
No, not on 190 grand a week, but you can't tell me that he's not a good football player. You can't.
I mean, he's not good enough for Man United anymore.
Correct, and the way they want to play. But that doesn't mean he's worth 20 million to a club like West Ham when he's perfectly good enough. He's better than everything they've got.
I keep saying 30, bro. I keep saying 30. 30 million is what I say we should.
I still think that's low. I still think that's low.
You know what it is, I'm trying to balance, what is good for the football club and what is good for him, making a meet come together. Like I said, whatever Man United get in the long run, it's good for him. But I'm just saying, we're delaying the inevitable of what he would bring to Man United and his impact at Man United, and his wages. And when you look at everything included, I just think it's one of them where cut your losses. Man United have overpaid. That's the reality of the situation. Manchester United have overpaid
100%.
for Maguire
100%.
massively. So anything isn't going to bring that feeling back. Like it's
no,
not
100%. The mistake of Harry Maguire here, and what I don't agree with what he says, is when he says that West Ham, he wants to play at a bigger club than West Ham. I think West Ham is about his level. I really do. I think West Ham, they're now playing in Europe. I think it's a perfectly good thing. He's got European experience. He should go there. He's been the captain of Manchester United. I think he's captained England on a few occasions. Like, he's got experience at that level. He could go there. And for that, you should be paying a premium. West Ham have just got 105 million, 100 million pound up front. And if you're saying that they can only spend 30 million of that on someone that's got countless caps for England, has been in 2 teams of the tournament, has played over 100 odd games for Manchester United, I think it's ludicrous. I genuinely think you say 40 million, very least I'll accept 35. And I think you should go for that all day. All day.
Yeah. And there should be a willingness on his side to be.
There should, but he obviously believes he's better than he is, and he believes he wants to play there. And listen, part of that, you have to have that to be a professional footballer. I really do believe that you have. Like, you go to any academy across the country, and literally 1% of the players make it. But if you speak to them, 99% of them all believe they're going to make it, because you have to have that belief, otherwise you're going to fail. So Harry Maguire's probably been told his whole life that he has to have that self-belief and confidence to believe he's the best. But has it landed in him good stead here? No, it's made him come across like an arrogant prick to the fan base who thinks he should be him. So it's not helped him in this situation. But I don't blame him for wanting the very best for his career. I don't blame him for staying somewhere on 190 grand a week. If Saeed was paying me 190 grand per episode, and then United View came across and was like, you know what, we'll give you 30 grand per episode. I'm like, you know what, guys, I'll stay here. I'm mates with Saeed. I'm comfortable. I'll turn up once a week, get my 190k.
Well, you know what I do, though? You know what I do? I terminate your contract, mate. That's what I do, though. I terminate your contract. Yeah. That's what I do.
Unhealthy relationship. Ship me off to somewhere else. Tout me round. That's what you do. Half price. Go on, James. Anyone can have James half price.
Let's decide. I'll do the job with half the salary. I'll do his job for half the salary. I don't
exactly, man. You know what I mean? But yeah, listen, we're gonna wrap things up. I'm just gonna read a couple of super chats. Do clubs look at club form or international form? Harry Maguire is shit. Let's not disrespect West Ham.
Bro.
This guy would defend an actual footballing Martial, but would defend Harry Maguire with his full.
I have defended this is a mistake that people make. I've defended Martial. People slag off Martial in the ground. When Martial has a good game, I come out. I've given Martial man of the match countless times last season, like when he actually played. I think Martial is a fantastic footballer when he plays. But the fact is, he plays about 11% of games, and you can't defend that. So are you worth £1 million a month if you play 11% of games? No, you're not. And that's what I don't defend. It's not his ability. Martial's got all the ability in the world. Martial has more ability than Harry Maguire, but Harry Maguire has more availability than Martial. And if you can't come on the pitch, then you're of no use to the club.
Yeah. We're getting a report saying that Man United have submitted a bid for Amrabat is coming in from Alfredo Padulo.
We're so slow in the transfer markets. Like, can you believe how slow we are?
I know Alfredo was on
it is,
top.
to be fair, 29th of August. So, sorry, 29th of July.
Yeah,
so,
26 days after we signed our first player. So slow. So slow.
Yeah, listen,
it is
what it is,
I know Alfredo was on top with the Hojlund news, but I'm getting Kim vibes from the Amrabat. I think they might have jumped the gun a little bit. The Italian reports.
Okay.
We haven't sold the player. We haven't sold the midfielder yet. We're not signing Amrabat until we sell one of the midfielders. Whether it's
Donny's a loan to buy as well, so I don't think we'll sell Donny. So it has to be Fred or McTominay, I think.
No, you could put an obligation in the books for this year. If it depends on the clauses, though. It depends on the clauses.
Listen, man.
Very tricky.
Listen, I put on Amrabat, like I said to him, I'm trying, man. I'm on his Instagram and that, chatting to him and that. So we'll see, man. We'll see. But HK Moose says, how is Harry Maguire better than anything West Ham got? I need to know whatever this guy is.
Name West Ham centre backs. Go on.
The only one that's clutch is Aguerd from Morocco. He's better than Maguire. Aguerd is better than Maguire. But he's cold. But the other two, Zuma. Who else is there? I forgot the other one.
Yeah. But like I said, Fred.
Cheers, bro. That guy's like 45 years old, man. Come on.
Who's that? He's listen, man. He's old. Like I said, Fred, 15 million we could get from him if we maybe try a little bit.
Maybe.
And then McTominay, Maguire, Dean Henderson. That's the one that people are not.
Dean Henderson, we're not getting money for, mate. We're not.
But again, that's what I'm saying. Like,
we should be, but we're not.
Yo, why can't Tom Bowley be Brexit, man? Why can't he come by? Yo, Dean Henderson starts for Chelsea. Like, why can't
he's better than Kepa?
That's what I'm saying, bro.
Exactly. Why did they come for him, man? Maybe I don't know. It's his wages as well, man. 120 grand.
He's not a lot of weight. I don't like the wages. The big. Yo, if he was like
McTominay,
McTominay should be
that wage, by the way.
I think
was it Ed Woodward or was it John Mill that gave him the wage?
I think
it would have been Ed Woodward. I think back then.
It was right after the Sheffield loan, but it wasn't. But it was before he actually played a game for us. That's the crazy thing.
We get too excited, man. Once Wednesday play like a couple of games, we throw the deal on them straight away. Like Brandon Williams,
bro. Brandon Williams.
Yeah, not hating on him. I'm not hating on the kid here, but he came in. Display sure he had a good, like solid amount of games, and bang, 60 grand on him like that. Just bang.
But Saeed, again, though, if you speak to the fan base, so this happened with Garnacho, because I had a conversation, like when Garnacho was negotiating a new deal last season, I had conversations with people. I think I was on UV at the time, and people, like, everyone was like, oh, what do you think he's worth? And I'm like, well, I'd give him like 25, 30 a week. I think that's more than enough. He's currently on like next to nothing. He's on like £3,000 a week or something like that. I boosted up to 25, 30, and everyone's like, nah, he's worth 100k. Look how much McTominay's on. And I'm like, you can't base someone's wages on what someone else is paid. If you're going to give like an 18-year-old 100k a week, you're on a slippery slope. Like, I actually think what United have done well this season. You look at the Hojlund wages, you're on about, you're talking €5 million. So you're talking about 80 grand a week plus bonuses. I think that's very good, even though he is 20. I think if you consider the fee, Amrabat around about the same is touted apparently in that contract. Right. Mount is 200, but you're always going to pay that for someone of that like level who has been player of the season for Chelsea twice and won a Champions League. So I actually think the wage structure, now that De Gea's gone and Ronaldo's gone, is getting a little bit better. Like, yes, Rashford is in a league of his own, but I've said this countless times, when people speak about Marcus Rashford's valuation and wages, they seem to only think about the 30 goals he scored on the pitch last season and not what he brings to Manchester United as an asset. Manchester United, Marcus Rashford is the face of Manchester United, and believe it or not, marketability plays a huge role when it comes to contracts. So you are always going to get people like Ronaldo, people like Rashford on these huge deals because they bring money into the club. They sell shirts. Everyone wants to be a Marcus Rashford. Like, that's what it is. So is he worth 375 or 325 grand a week on the pitch? Probably not. No. But is he as an overall asset to Manchester United? Well, he probably is. So I actually think our wage structure is getting a little bit better. I still don't think it's perfect. I actually think this is one of the reasons you're saying about Maguire being hard to get rid of is his wages, and I agree. Whereas McTominay, I think he's only on like 70 a week. So McTominay should easily be able to get rid of for 35 million.
I think it's lower than that. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I don't think McTominay is on a lot of money realistically for his profile at all. I think if you're a West Ham and you want a box-to-box midfielder, I think you shell out 35 million on McTominay and give him 70 grand a week, and he's more than happy.
Yeah. I'm just looking at McTominay. No, I don't know McTominay's wages, to be honest with you. Let me check.
I'm pretty sure it's 70. I could be wrong. I'm pretty sure it's 70. I know people like to
Yeah,
spout like it's 100
60.
odd, but I don't know where they get
No,
that
it's
from.
60. He's on 60.
There you go.
He hasn't
Yeah.
increased his wages, yeah.
Oh, that's
So
nothing.
60. You know what I mean? It's not too bad for.
So should be
players.
able to sell him for 35, yeah? Like realistically, if he improves West Ham's team, why would you not get that?
And apparently, David Moyes is one in a more kind of English core
Yeah.
rather than bringing foreign exports in. So,
Bro,
boy, if
Scott
we
McTominay
you
is
can
the
help him
Scottish
with
son,
that.
man. Scottish boy. Scottish
Yeah.
French
Yeah.
and-
Scottish
There you
Sudan,
go.
Brexit FC, let's go.
There you go. There you go. And people,
got
we're
anyone
gonna
else
wrap up
though?
here, man. Yeah, right. Listen, man. We'll see, man. But guys, it's been 1 hour, 40 minutes. We have gone over time, people. But listen, it's been a good show. We've had some positive moments at the start. Then James wanted to go too positive, and then we had to bring him back down a level and bring him back down a peg. But guys, if this don't deserve at least minimum, what we on right now? 716 likes. There's
Not
still
enough.
1.1K in here. Get that up to at least 900 likes. People, smash that like button. It doesn't cost you a penny. I've come all the way from London back to Manchester. I've been out all day and I've still done a live stream because I thought, you know what? We need to celebrate together, Hojlund. Here we go. And you know what I mean? It's one of them where we've got to keep things going. Consistency is key. But James, it's been a pleasure. We always have our rants, but listen, it's all love. You know what I mean? We have it at Old Trafford, we have it here. It's United, isn't it? We're Man United, isn't it? That's what we do.
Life would be so boring if we all agreed all the time, Saeed. So boring. So big
There
up
you
yourself. Obviously, just back from London. Literally messaged me on the way back. If I can get back at 10 o'clock, do you want to come on? And we were like, yeah, sure. So hit a like for Saeed. Big up Staffy. Big up Griggs, as always. Big up the chat. And yeah, honestly, it may seem like we all argue and we don't get on. It's called the debate show. We like to have different opinions. It's all part of the fun. We're all friends. I'll see Saeed at Old Trafford. I'm sure we'll shake hands. Everything's okay. Don't need to cry about it.
Yeah. Nah, it's all love, man. It's all love, man. Michael, man, it's been a blessing. You know what I mean? We're gonna watch your Anthony take soon, but it's all good, man. It's all good. Listen, man, I'm not gonna lie to you, man. Every time Anthony puts a stinker, I'm ready for your tweets, man. It's gonna be peak, man.
Bro, you know what? Because where I was sitting on the game against Saturday, it was on Anthony's side. So I was right in front of where he was playing. Bro, that was so bad. Bro, so bad, man. But not anyway, Anthony. That guy pisses me off. But not yet. Catch me on, was it Thursday's our show, right? America Talk. I'll be back this week. I already got my schedule for work next week. I'm good to go for Thursday. And yeah, I'm sure I'll debate with Staffy and Temmie. That's my offs. That's my offs on the show, man. We argue every single time, even in the group chat. If you guys look, our group chat, bro, it's me and Omar and Cole always arguing against Saeed, Staffy, and Temmie. It's 3.
We have our 3 versus 3, you know, like WWE settings.
Yeah, man, it's mad. It's mad. But Staffy, man, been a pleasure, man. Big up to you, man.
No, big up for having me, bro. Listen, as James said, I swear, Saeed was on his way back and he was hitting us up. He was like, "Listen, if I make it back by 10, you guys are down." I was like, "You know what, bro? Just let me know." You know, so this was a last minute show. So give him all the love that he deserves. Big up the video and the likes. Make sure you're smashing those likes. You know, and hopefully if West Ham come in for Maguire again, Saeed, I want you to promise me you're gonna, you know, try to get James in that war room. You know, I want him to be there discussing deals with them. I want that sales pitch that he gave today, but I want it live, you know, in that negotiations room, you know, because if he goes there, I promise you we're getting 45 for him, you know, and they better give him a cut.
I'll send James.
They better give him a cut.
I'll send James his football reference page too. It had a lot of green in it. It might convince West Ham a little bit. You never know. I'll send you that page. By the way, do we have a game today?
Yeah, man.
Tomorrow. We play on
tomorrow, Dortmund.
Oh, the Dortmund against tomorrow. I swear to God, I thought it was today.
No, that's tomorrow.
It's tomorrow night. Oh yeah, it's tomorrow night.
It's 8:30, so
no idea.
1:30 for you, I think.
No, it's 2 p.m. 2 p.m. It's 2 a.m. Sorry, 2 a.m.
I mean 2 a.m.
So it's a late one. It's a late one. I can't lie. But listen, we're gonna be there, man. We're gonna be there, and then we'll see what the boys are cooking tomorrow, man. I wish Hojlund was there, but listen, that won't get done till maybe. He might be playing against Lons, RC Lons against Old Trafford.
Which game is in Old Trafford? Oh, that's the one.
Bilbao.
Lons, yeah.
Bilbao. We got Dublin game, innit? We got Dublin before Lons. So
is Lens the OT game?
Lens is OT.
Yeah, Lens is OT.
That's gonna be his first game. It's gonna be his first game. They're gonna try to introduce him in front of the OT crowd.
Yeah. Definitely, man. And I'll be hopefully back. Not back. I'm not doing the watch along, but I'm going to be watching Spence versus Crawford. Are you guys watching the boxing tonight? Crawford?
Yeah, it's a big one, isn't it? Yeah, I'm going to try.
Big one. So that people are saying 5 a.m. You know, jeez, listen, man, we might have to just have a little nap. You know, I don't know, man. We're gonna have to just sort something out, man, because
Bro, just
you know
wake
what
up at
happens
5.
there?
Just wake up at 5 a.m. Honestly.
Now, what happens there? I say to myself, I'm gonna stay up here, and then when it gets to like 4 o'clock, I knock out. Like that's just me. But we're gonna go maybe for a little nap, and then yeah, man. Big up to everybody who's been locked in. I'll be back 3 p.m. tomorrow for Super Sunday, and yeah, man. Tune in, people. We're out. Yeah.